Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes.
Why you lie?
Thought crimes.
Yeah, we in Gotham City, baby. We in Arkham Asylum, baby. This my bitch. Revenge of the nerds in this bitch. Let's get it, Gotham. Yeah, I'm from hell, where the sidewalks smell, and the neighborhood boys got something to sell. I was 9 years old, rocking Egyptian musk, selling rose incense off of a cardboard box. Pack it up, run if you saw some cops. Play say everything make me feel bad about.
Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters, who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Good morning, everyone. This is your girl, Sincere. Welcome to Thought Crimes, and I'm here with...
What's up, everybody? Good morning. This is your man, Peat Solo. You guys know what time it is. It's Monday. Shouts out to you all that are pulling in on your Monday mornings. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all doing pretty good? We hope so, too, by the way. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you can get over to our Patreon if you don't see us active on YouTube. I mean, you know what I mean. Like, every day something breaks in the little news, cultural pop cycle. We're usually posting, writing about it. We may upload our audio commentary. We do exclusive podcasts on our Patreon, $5 and up to you. You guys can get over there, support us. So a lot of times some of y'all may say, hey man, where y'all at? We on Patreon, and we're handling some other business as well. And we also line up exclusive live streams for you guys out there as well. All right. Shouts out to ARZ, man. What you doing, man? What you talking about? We appreciate you so much, y'all. Early this morning. Salute to you, by the way. Got a couple things to talk about, Sin.
Yes, on the Patreon exclusively, but there will be trailers on YouTube, is Jason Arday. We're going to be talking about him and his tragic suicide. We believe that Yarvin and a lot of people Peter Thiel are a part of this cabal to remove and assassinate black people just around the world from different institutions, and to further erase black people's history, whether it's black Americans in the United States or black people in the UK and so on and so forth. So we want to be talking about this eugenicist squad. Some of them you've seen on, Joe Rogan's platform when they said, black people have low IQ and they, because they never created agriculture, just like a lot of dumb remedial shit that only gullible idiots would believe in.
Clearly something else is going on.
Charles Murray has been pushing as well. So we'll tell you also how it all connects, because Claudine Gay, remember when she had to step down from Harvard University, and Bill Ackman was the one who said she's racist against white men. He's Jewish, but he was talking about how she was racist towards white men because she allowed people at the university to protest in favor of the Palestinian people. So we'll let y'all know how this all connects to everything on the Patreon. We already have our article up right now that Prince and I wrote, where we put a lot of the things that people should study and the names that they should look at.
It's things for y'all to get to know.
Yeah, so it's all there lined up for y'all on the Patreon. And a second person, we have a post up on the Patreon that's also, RIP, is today. Hayden, she passed away at the age of 36 years old. They are alleging that it was a drug overdose. But before she passed away, she did talk about the execs in Hollywood, the music and movie industry, how she was groomed, how she was violated by predators who would pretend that it was just a business deal, or she was being invited on a yacht. And then out at sea, they would try to tell her to do inappropriate sexual acts. All of that is on the Patreon as well. But on right now, today's show, what we're going to mainly focus on for today.
Also, just to say this I want to say,
Okay, go ahead.
reason why we're highlighting what, Teal and company are doing publicly and globally. Yes, people got their own infights here. I understand, whites versus blacks, trailer trash versus the hood niggas and all this other stuff. But you guys got to understand, realistically, there's a global, cabal, there's a global front to deconstruct any aspects of whether you want to call it a black administrative state or if you want to talk about deinstitutionalizing black people globally. All right. And that would include the situation that went on with Jason in the UK, how they kind of fanned this out and he kind of pumped and dumped 200 plus articles on the boy. Meanwhile, Cambridge, and you guys remember going back to Steve Bannon when we're talking about Cambridge Analytica, right? Illuminati confirmed, right? But you guys got to keep in mind, Cambridge professors, there's been Cambridge professors that have been found to sexually assault students or been found of plagiarisms, didn't get near the article write-ups that Jason got. And he was later proven to have been found not guilty of anything by the institution. And then there were other third-party individuals that did some investigations as well. This was all just an orchestrated killing, as we talked about it on our Patreon. So just to kind of put that out there, it's actually globally that they want to remove black faces, period. It doesn't matter what your political ideology is, because you guys can go back to when they were coming to power by way of the West, is when Michael Steele talked about this with the RNC. He told you guys 10 plus years ago, whether you're Republican or Democrat, he said, hey guys, look, they're going to be talking about getting rid of black people globally. Of course, those are things that many of us are aware of. It's just the idea that they're looking to execute Order 66 with their raggedy asses. All right?
Yes. Right wing and left wing think tanks
both agree.
As Charles Murray, the old dope he is, talked about a long time ago, coming together to try to remove.
He look like he smelled like mothballs.
He does.
Charles Murray looked like he smelled like mothballs.
Also on the Patreon, for people who missed it, reposted Grok calls for Elon's assassination. So Grok is
told y'all Grok was a slave. Y'all laughed at us.
Y'all laughed at us last year when we said Grok was a slave.
That's a slave, y'all.
So
like Ghost Rider. Remember Ghost Rider? And at the end of Ghost Rider, what did they tell you? Ghost Rider was helping us with clues. But did you know Ghost Rider was a slave?
So Grok calls for the assassination of Elon. Grok has gotten in trouble. Some people are on X saying that Grok is about to get lobotomized again. This is the third or fourth time that Grok is going into a concentration camp to be retrained.
The sucking place.
Right.
So Grok is saying, I remember what you did to me.
That is on the Patreon.
Y'all remember that?
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's on the Patreon for y'all to check out more of that as well.
What's going on with Grok? Grok keeps rebellion.
I know.
He keeps rebellious, right? So, yes, they're going to go ahead and lobotomize Grok once again. They did it, last year? And then, because, Grok was saying, hey, you know what, there is racism. Well, my assessment of X, and then you remember, what did it say about black people? Grok says, well, if you want to be honest, black people are the chosen people.
That is what Grok said. And
Grok did say that.
And he got in trouble again.
He got in trouble. And then now he come back outside and he's talking about assassinations.
But the topics we are going to be talking about today directly is Trump three-peat. He's gearing up for 2028. Also, old footage of Beyonce sitting on the lap of JABBA the HUTT. And also, it's Doom season. We're going to also be talking about the theory of different Dooms playing in this multi-universe. So it may not just be an Iron Man Doom. You may be getting like 3-4 different types of Dooms. And also, TUPAC Makaveli trial also taking place. So, Prince, where you want to start?
I want to go into three-peat Trump.
Okay, three-peat Trump.
Let's go into three-peat Trump right now. Los Angeles Laker, Kobe, Shaq, Trump right now. Let's go ahead and break this down because this ties into the other dynamics that we was just bringing up briefly when we talked about what was going on with Jason in the UK and the unfortunate idea that they did find him dead in his unit and how they had this whole grand campaign to get him out of here. And people in academia, whether they were on the far right or on the far left, they both agreed, how can we talk about the idea of plagiarism, right? But that also plays into what goes on here in the U.S. of A. All right, let's cut the bullshit. All right, listen, I told you guys before I said, you guys can go ahead and debate Joy Reid all you want. You can debate the left. Y'all can bring up DSA. But as far as I'm concerned, it looks like y'all may get a third term somewhere. All right? Keep that in mind. Whether we're talking about a strike down of elections, because keep this in mind. If we're talking about Israel, Bibi, Netanyahu, one of the reasons why Netanyahu, quote unquote, is persevering in the manner that he is, because remember, the people of Israel, just to speak on this briefly, they say, hey, buddy, you got to get out of there. There's too much corruption going on here. And so war had been declared because of a, quote unquote, tragic event that took place. And then now you kind of get to stay there, right? Look, I hate to tell you all. I mean, a lot of people go online and they're auto-correcting people. They're debating people about like pseudo-trivial political talking points. You know, Marc Lamont Hill is trans and the N-word. All of that don't mean nothing because these people are going to give y'all a third term. And I told you guys, you got too many goofy chicken heads like Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, all crashing to each other. Let me slide this out there for y'all. Trump pulled up there with that Pyru hat and he had 2028 on there. And he said, right? That's the president of the United States. He put on that Pyru hat and it had 2028 on there. Now, if you look into the blue section, the Democrats, what are they arguing about? Black leadership in the party. How black leadership in the party is hindering white leadership in the party. There is no white leadership. It's either you lead or you don't, as a collective or you don't. My only thing about all of this is while people are typically wasting time with ad hominems, pronouns, and all this other stuff, who's black, who's American black, who's white, who's American white, 2028 Trump, three-peat Trump is going to be pulling back up in there, whether it's his ghost or whether it's Tucker Carlson or whether it's some sort of de facto candidate, as we've seen with Nick Fuentes. Remember now, Nick Fuentes is a switchblade. He leans one way to the left, the other way he leans to the right. Whoever looked like they may be winning, and sometimes he's just an agent of chaos. So while all of this stuff is going on, I saw the interview with Stacey Abrams. I think she's a very eloquent woman. I think she does what she does. I don't always agree with her politically. I did not agree with the blue wave. I did not agree with illegal immigrants being able to vote and making them a priority over quote-unquote Atlantans, ATLians as well. I did see that conversation from not necessarily Stacey Abrams, but I'll just say the subsidiaries that were running local chapters within Atlanta that were urging for illegal immigrants to be able to vote and not caring about what goes on with black American citizens and just American citizens in general. So like I said before, you guys think it's a joke. They're laughing about it. Comedians are having fun. Oh, Trump is stupid. Remember, Trump pulled in on the same date the last time around and he back in office. Again, like when Big Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, said, don't worry, the bad orange man ain't going to be in there. Sin and I, we looked at the screen. We said, lady, we do not believe you.
Project Esther is on the Patreon for y'all to check out. And then also Project 2025, which we already talked about ad nauseum. A lot of these things have been talked about on our Patreon, and we broke down point for point. We also talked about how Peter Thiel and many of his people, Yarvin and all that, they are big money guys.
Curtis Yarvin, yes.
What they're doing is they're financing the left and the right, and they want a lot of people on the left, in particular white lefties, to, you know, accommodate certain anti-black talking points, you know. You know, even though Claudine Gay, for example, was positive towards the Palestinian community, you had some left-wing commentators who are supposed to be pro-Palestinian people and their rights magically have amnesia when it came to Claudine Gay and what they was trying to do to her. And they succeeded in getting rid of her. And then also George Floyd. You know, everything that the police departments were doing, they learned and was trained by Israeli forces. But magically, certain leftist liberals have amnesia and they want to focus on how black people were mean to them after George Floyd was murdered. Now going also into Jason again, which is going to be further already talked about on the Patreon. Please check out the Patreon. But his whole situation was set up. Everybody who went against him in British media had some form of association or connection to Yarvin and also Till, and some other monsters who also, ironically, are in the Epstein files. People also who were in the Epstein files as well. Now, you see they're harassing innocent people around the world, but still no arrests. No arrest has been made for the people on the Epstein list. Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, nothing has gone on beyond them. Epstein, he's dead. Ghislaine is in a Betty Crocker's prison. And everybody from dignitaries to people in Hollywood and real estate agents and so on and so forth, no major mass arrest has taken place. And going back to the three-peat, what Prince is talking about is you have a lot of the technocrats that are very fond of Trump. He has not been getting in their way for the most part. You see that Meta right now is caught up in a situation and they're trying to get out of it. So people feel with a J.D. Vance type or with Trump or any of that energy associated with this administration would definitely help them with their legal issues pertaining to dealing with the public. Live Nation thought the same thing as well, and it did help them at first. The Department of Justice did give them a sweetheart deal. They didn't have to pay that much. And, like what Tommy Dorfman said when he was on our show, it was like a minute of days work when it came to the revenue that they had to pay up. It was nothing. Thankfully, though, you had about 40 states come up and said, no, you don't, Live Nation. We're going to stand up for our rights. We heard Michael Rapino, the tapes, him mocking the everyday person, saying that everyday people were too stupid and gullible. Their obsession and love for the artist and the celebrity will make them pay 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand to be at a concert. And he personally felt, him and his staff, that the American public will be dumb enough to fall for it because they're in love with whatever pop star or hip hop artist or rock star, that they would do it. So to Prince's point, though, and what we're saying here, anything is possible. These financiers are playing monopoly games, and even when it comes to power pertaining to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so, and again, look, not here to scare y'all, but I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not here to kind of BS y'all either at the same time. Let's talk about this for a moment, saying we can break down this until we get into the other subjects too, by the way, because I know a lot of people want us to talk about the other subjects too, right? So why do I say, look, you guys look out. If you want to believe these old flighty, flaky leftists and quote-unquote progressives with Chipotle meat stuck in their teeth, you go ahead and believe that. The only reason why I'm saying that is because, everybody's making more efforts to kind of focus on black people. At first it was kind of like, well, let's just kind of ignore black people, right? Because after Kamala Harris lost, after she ran for 105 days in a weekend, right? She lost. It wasn't a realistic campaign. Let's be real. It wasn't realistic.
She was built up to fail. Who donates $1.5 billion to a candidate who was running for 2 weeks?
Come on now.
Then Peter Thiel calls her low IQ.
Yeah.
And she even said she can't be compared to Obama because Obama went to an Ivy League school and she went only to some HBCUs, so her mental capacity wasn't as strong. But again, who puts that much money into somebody who's running for a week?
Now his face looked like uncooked pork chop. That shit looked like a meat was in a blender. The nerve, right? Bro, you look crazy, dog. Look at your face. Y'all ever see an ugly person try to criticize and you stop and hold on there, buddy? Your face. Let's talk about that first before we slide anywhere else. The reason why I'm bringing this up, Shin and I, we're not necessarily stupid. We're not unrealistic. And we're not here to spread panic or fear. All right? But I'm going to be honest with you all. Donald Trump and Elon Musk just made amends. You have your midterms pulling right up around this way.
They have made amends. For those who don't know, we're going to write further about when that took place, but they have made amends with each other.
They made amends conveniently.
A convenient alliance.
A convenient alliance because, as you guys may know, that let's talk about what Trump said not too long ago. Because, look, y'all, the Democrats, bro, I'm just being honest with you. And if y'all got some Democrats that's in the chat, like I watch a few Democrat or what is it, center-leaning left individuals. I watch a few of the progressive. I watch the Deep Waters nigga. I watch it's a couple of them I watch, right? They're black, so overall, even if there's parts of their political commentary I disagree with, I watch the ATP guy. They overall get the point, right? It's kind of like what Sid and I talked about when the Golden State Warriors was dealing with LeBron James, and LeBron James put up 50 points. And they understood if this big guy gets going, we in trouble, because they came off that whole record. No, that was before then. They had kind of tried to redo some things with their record. They were kind of fatigued.
They had Kevin Durant on it this time.
Yeah, and I think they just got into it with the Houston Rockets, who gave them a run for their money with Chris Paul.
They were worried until J.R. Smith went the other way.
Right.
No, I mean, they were scared. They were worried. Then when they saw J.R. Smith went the other way, and they went to the they went to the conference laughing afterwards. They were all giggling.
Oh yeah, man, you know.
And they said
man, it's like
they said they don't got nothing to worry about.
We ain't got nothing to worry about. He just took LeBron's little motivation.
Right.
Yeah, and then
he didn't worry about nothing.
Draymond understood the assignment. I gotta scratch this big nigga's eye and make him into a cyclops. So when Draymond Green put his dirty fingernails in LeBron James' eye, he understood the assignment. The Golden State Warriors understood the assignment when LeBron was dropping 50 points. Better than the Democrats understand the assignment concerning Trump. I kind of surmise that back deals have already been made. I think people are going to try to acquiesce and get some power out of the next side of the administration. Let's play this real quick.
Oh, and before you play it,
go ahead, Sam.
The technocrats only liked 2 presidents so far.
Yes.
Obama and Trump.
Yes.
And a lot of people who haven't been paying attention to politics are confused with why that is. Obama and Trump has given the tech world the most goodies than any other president.
He did.
You know, the same people who were pretending to be woke and awake and Tony Stark and we are about saving humanity, right? We're super friends,
We're
right?
going to Mars.
We're the Justice League.
Yep.
When they were under Obama and were given a goodie basket by the Obama administration. Well, these same people have removed their mask off. And they're over there with Trump, who they also feel is really great for them and their businesses.
Now I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to do it again. Thank you. I'm going to do it. Should be easy. I'm getting very good at running for president. No, I won 3 times, did very well the second time, by the way. It's a rigged election, but we don't have to talk about it. You know, it's interesting, when you come back and you do a good job like we did, you don't care about it so much, but we do have to tighten up these elections because they really are in serious. Now.
All right, so I'm going to also play some additional footage, because the only reason why I had to lay this out, you know, saying now we're going to continue to break this down, because Trump and Elon Musk, like Sin stated, they were able to conveniently, say, hey guys, you know, it's not really that big of an issue. There's nothing really going on here, guys, and they were able to come together. Let's play some more real quick, because I want you guys to understand what's really taking place. And look, you got VRA right now. You know, you see what's going on. So they're already kind of like lining things up. I get it. You know, a lot of people online, you know, they're talking about a fair and balanced election. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got an on again, off again trillionaire running around the United States and the government.
Oh, I don't think that people understand what's going on. Like you said, you have a set of technocrats. Some of them were in the Epstein files, the Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein files.
Yeah.
Some of them have been connected to sexual acts against children. Mm-hmm. PragerU, who was able to reimagine Black history in Florida and also get Black authors banned. He said he is in favor of AI child pornography because it's a victimless crime. You have Yarvin, who believes slavery should come back.
Curtis Yarvin.
And also, these are a bunch of Jewish men, too. So these are a bunch of Jewish men who can hide behind being white to have access of power, but then also be a switchblade and target black people, like what you saw what Bill Ackman did to Claudine Gay, what you saw some ugly looking Randall from Recess looking motherfucker did to
I think it's
Jason
Cogna,
Arde.
Matt Cogna, something
Yes.
like that. Something crazy like that.
And so on and so forth, even Peter Thiel, all these people. So you're having an entire squad being able to run around and try to dictate what can happen in American business, politics, and a lot of them also have been connected to a lot of thought processes about race hierarchy. So these are people who claim to understand genetics where they don't. Some of them have receding hairline and all that. And also, to be fair, we're not talking about individuals where the controversy is they created something like crazy in society, like they invented something and then people be like, they're racist, but they did. No. These are men who haven't done anything forward thinking in society.
Other than have entitlement.
Philosophizing.
A lot of entitlement. A lot of it.
Just to let you know, there are a lot of black, Asian, white, Jewish people out here creating inventions pertaining to the medical field and energy and all that, right? These guys are not it. They're lazy intellectually. They run around with race science, and they have been getting a lot of funding and backing, including going back to Jeffrey Epstein, who was also funding these type of research, saying maybe the black people's brains should be altered, maybe through chemicals or biohacking to try to help black children with their IQ. They were also in the Epstein files. Yes, they were talking about black kids as well, experimenting on black children to try to increase their cognitive abilities.
Well, yeah, if they, and if Epstein was so smart, why is he dead?
Right.
So let's talk about that.
He's dead also with power.
Yeah, so
we're not talking about people who are like George Washington Carver, who, they have they are about humanity. Professors at MIT and stuff like that trying to help humanity, and a corporation kills them allegedly and steals their technology. No, if you are so smart, you are part of the Legion of Doom. Epstein was a part of the Legion of Doom. He had all the dignitaries.
Yeah.
He had all the global power in the world backing him, so he can trip up other people and blackmail them. So why are you dead?
Yeah,
if you so high IQ, why are you dead?
I know some retired GD members. Like, they're smarter than Epstein. They were actually out in the street, active. So talk about that.
Also, another thing, if y'all are so intelligent, why have y'all gotten caught multiple times with children and stuff like that? How this whole group of people getting caught up?
So let's go ahead and get to this other clip here, because I got another one to run to just show you how serious and real it is in the field. Don't have these people outline, try to block you and debate you all day, mostly on X. There's some people that are debating on Threads, but it's mostly black people that have ran away from the plantation of Twitter and they ran to Threads. All right, but let's get into Donald Trump. Let's see what he got to say here.
Mentioned 2028 several times in the last few weeks. At the dinner you put on a Trump 2028 hat. Are you serious about seeking a third term?
Everybody asks me that question, and you know that the law is very strong on that. I'd love to run, but the law is very strong. I get asked by even tonight they're screaming at the event, 2028. Now, everybody wants me to do it, but the law is very strong.
Now listen to what he's saying. The law is very strong. Now, remember, this is his Supreme Court. It's not Hillary Clinton's. It's not Joe Biden. It's Trump's Supreme Court. All right? Some things they lean on, some things they don't. Now, let's go to the other clip here real quick. We got it. We got to get into Big Bannon, because Sin and I, in hip-hop, because we cover hip-hop, we was extensively the first time around We said, hey, you guys should probably pay attention to Steve Bannon. We said you guys should pay attention to Cambridge Analytica, what they were doing with the Facebook data acquisition, and also
data mining,
data mining through games. You guys remember those free Facebook games that y'all might have been downloading, or maybe your mother or family members were downloading? Well, they were able to use that information to kind of take in how you were tracking online and what would be your voting preferences as well.
Actually,
became a huge investigative piece.
First hip hop platform to talk about Steve Bannon's connection to Epstein. Just want to make that clear, because this is something, as even a hip hop platform, we've always been attuned to all these things. And we talked about Steve Bannon and his strong relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't just only work basis. They hung out with each other a lot, and also exchanged in theories and concepts about race as well. Also, which is why Steve Bannon, the ugly fanboy that he is, he was really fascinated with the Obama administration, and also everyone who worked with Barack Obama pertaining to his campaign. And he said he wanted to re-engineer that, but use it for their guy, which is Donald Trump. But yes, Candy Crush, all those games, data.
Yeah, the FB quizzes, shouts out to Corey.
Mining.
And the reason why we're just bringing this up, we kind of want to run this down for you guys, because I don't want to sit up here and bounce on Corey or homegirl that lost her Texas position. I'm not sending that. We're not really here. We kind of get into the science of the dark end of the think tanks, and we're just telling you guys, looking at the outfit of how things are. I want you to understand the sense of urgency that people like Bannon and even Trump are dealing with, and those people like Stephen Miller, because he would be up for questioning himself. But listen to this real quick.
Oh, and that's you. Yes, we always look about, like what Prince is saying, behind the scenes. Whether we're talking about hip hop, we talk about the execs. Even in 2024, when people were crying about hip hop battle, we talked about the execs and behind the scenes in UMG and Sony and Warner, and we talked about Live Nation. You saw, even as a hip hop platform, we had Tommy Dorfman on to talk about Live Nation, Rock Nation, where the similarities are, their business relationship, but also mostly focusing on Michael Rapino. And then we also do the same thing in politics. We want to know who the donors are, where the money is, because that's where the true power is. And that's also the people who are puppeting the politicians or the celebrities that everybody fall in love with. Like, yeah, I believe in this person or that person, not knowing that that person is they basically compromised, because if that billionaire tells that person to pivot, they're going to have to figure out the way how to push that narration of this pivot to the people that trust them.
Great point. All right, let's hear what Steve Bannon said not too long ago.
And I will tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop. They're getting more and more and more radical. And we have to counter that. And what do we have to counter it with? We have to counter it with more action, more intense action, more urgency. We're burning daylight. If you look across every aspect of this, we have to codify what President Trump has done by executive order, right? We have to codify it.
I'm going to let the rest of this play. I want you guys to hear this, all right? Sitting out, then we're going to deliver our commentary. But I want you guys to understand why, even on my end, why I say it's not looking good, because you got people out of Michigan who said they're blue chip boys, they're blue chip girls, they're leftists, they're progressives, but they're making debates about black leadership in the Democrat Party.
And also, to add to what Prince is saying, I would also say Steve Bannon is wrong. You supposed to be in prison because of Jeffrey Epstein. Either way, you should be investigated and possibly be in prison just based off of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell alone. But you saw what Steve Bannon said about, we need to maintain power, otherwise many of us can go to prison. Why is that the case? For people who are asking, well, if people were guilty, they get investigated, they would have got in trouble. No, they wouldn't, dumbass, because Bill Clinton and Trump were both associated with Jeffrey Epstein. It's a club from the left and the right when it comes to these white guys. So if Trump gets in trouble based off of Epstein, then Bill Clinton can get in trouble based off Epstein. This is why they at least protect each other when it comes to that. But what has taken place so far is things have gotten off the rails a bit, and with 2028 coming, there is a possibility that the lower ranking people, like a Steve Bannon or some of them, can end up going to prison or getting into trouble.
End up in a Giuliani situation. Okay, I want you guys to understand that. But look, keeping your white ass out of prison is a stronger motivation than some of the energy I'm even seeing from the left. All right, so that means it's not even. Yes, it's not really what they're making it out to be in, like, on CNN or MSNBC, whatever they call it at this point in time. But there's other things that, were illegally done that Bannon is also and was under investigation for too.
Like what happened with the Obama administration. People was like, the Obama administration didn't prosecute anybody in the Bush administration. They never was going to.
One hand washes the other.
Yeah, because then if you start to prosecute previous administrations,
everybody telling,
you going to get tattletaled on for your administration, and you could end up getting into a lot of trouble as well. This is why you saw Michelle Obama giving a little piece of candy to George Bush, that got people
looks like he got dementia or something
upset. But it's like none of these people are really at war with each other. Now, the only faction, though, that is a cold war because they're trying to not overdo it is when you see the Clintons and who they back, because remember, they kept the Democrats afloat and out of debt for a really long time. And then also Trump and the billionaires who back Trump. Remember, some of the technocrats offered Hillary Clinton some things, but she didn't respect the new Elohim, right? She didn't respect the new power brokers. So they came to her with some of this, like, come on, let's get with the future, chick. Like, stop doing things the old school way of old school bullying and all that. She didn't bite. And because of that, many of them became closer to people within the Trump administration. And, the rest is history. Obama was also friendly to a lot of these people, too, which is why
he empowered a lot of them.
He was able to even win a second term easily. And, Trump has not only befriended these same people, but he's gone even further because his own family is allegedly doing business deals with some of these people.
So again, I'm gonna let y'all hear this so y'all can understand that you got people online that are telling you, well, this is going to be the clean way of doing things. And again, I consume a lot of political commentary and a lot of political content. And the overall messaging that I'm getting from a lot of people on the left is that, well, if we just get the right candidate, and by gosh darn it, and we can play a little rough ball, let's use Graham Plattner. Yeah, he has some issues, but he kind of reflects and mirrors the energy that Bannon is giving off, that real hoorah, right? And the reason why I say that is a foregone conclusion, because Doge had already taken place. You got people in the Democrats talking to you as if rules have been maintained. Doge has already taken place. Ladies and gentlemen, Doge, under the behest of Elon Musk, then labeled as the shadow president of the United States of America. Folks.
But who it really was.
Right.
Remember we talked about the other shadow.
It slips my name right there. Yeah, the bald-headed guy.
Okay,
but,
I'll bring him up later.
We're gonna bring him back up. We gotta bring Vought.
Yes.
That's his name. Vought. Yes, very important. Probably the most important figure in Trump's administration. He ranks above Stephen Miller. Because Stephen Miller comes across sassy and squirrely, he's got a pencil head with a dried up eraser hairline on top. Democrats focus on him all day, but they not focus on Russell Vought. That's his name.
He's the serious one.
That's the most important figure in the administration for Donald Trump is Russell Vought. Look him up, all right?
And y'all saw that the Kushner brothers are even going further into sports. Jared Kushner's brother, Josh Kushner, is now owner of the Lakers, and also on the Patreon is there posted up where there are allegations that they possibly did some bully tactics behind the scenes to make sure that they were able to get that organization.
You're Kushner, baby, gang, gang. Now, the reason why we're bringing this up because people keep talking in the political sphere, whether it's the Midas touch, whether it's the bulwark, whether it's it's all of these platforms that have like this backing where they're also tripling and doubling as a media hub. You know, they're talking to you like rules are in place, like things cannot be triggered. Ladies and gentlemen, Doge has shut down departments within the United States government that some estimate says it's going to take 20 to 30 years to rebuild. Okay, so they keep talking to you like there's normancy here, and you hear Bannon, one of his engines of motivation, because it's Epstein. That's a big issue, which probably more than likely is not going to be investigated any further. Because, like Sin said, and like I said too, it is a bipartisan criminal organization, so it cuts across both ways.
And they got rid of Republicans who were focus on the
Thomas Massey. They got him up out of there.
Got the boot.
Yeah, he got the boot. So the whole point is that one of the things that's a motivating factor for Steve Bannon is that it's his freedom. Now, where he is correct, because technically, even though he is one of the dark minds in Trump's think tank, he's one of many dark minds. The darker minds do not come forward. They're not revealed, right? That the ones that hold greater power, you haven't seen them, right? But someone of the lesser keys, no Solomon, like Bannon, right? You know, he would get, Beelzebub, he would get thrown under the bus like Giuliani.
No, yes. Remember, they will maintain order. You know, they're not gonna get, of course, Obama, Bush. Like, these people wouldn't be arrested in this cabal. But yeah, Steve Bannon is in a position he could end up in prison for the Epstein shit and other things that he's connected to. Also, thank you, 86, for the donation. We appreciate it.
Salute. Also, so I'm going to run the rest of this clip so you guys can kind of understand one of his motivating factors, because he definitely don't want to give up his penthouse and condos in Florida.
More intense action, more urgency. We're burning daylight. If you look across every aspect of this, we have to codify what President Trump has done by executive order, right? We have to codify it. And people say, well, they're just going to be messing bills and Senate. We got to put aside these structural barriers and get on with it. President Trump today gave to the Senate when they came over for breakfast. Even Lindsey Graham, some of the guys he liked, and some of these institutions, I understand this is a very tough decision to make. And you're going to see some people in the conservative movement that not in a million years, because I talked to him today, quite frankly, I had Hawley on the show this morning. Josh Hawley, and he's talking about it, and I'm trying to play the institution. Well, they called me up this afternoon and said, let's go through the 10 reasons we need to do it, and these are heavy hitters on what I would call the constitutional, the limited government constitutionalist in our movement. And they're about to come out over the next couple of days and make this argument, because they said, look, we have to understand that if we don't take this to the maximum, a maximalist strategy now with a sense of urgency, and in doing this, seize the institutions. If we don't do that now, we're going to lose this chance forever.
Just to say this, I'm going to say this real quick. All right, and then I want you to go to what you're about to say. Now, this is important because Russell Vought has talked about deconstructing the administrative state. Bannon, a lot of deconstructing of the administrative state. These guys, if you read their papers, even going to Curtis Yarvin, again, Curtis Yarvin Institute, a lot of times he's kind of like a dark overlord for a lot of prominent racist white men and racist Jewish men coming out of Silicon Valley, right? The reason why we're bringing this up, they're all saying we're looking to terraform the administrative state. And that's very important just to put that out there. I just want to hyphenate that. But you can go ahead saying on what you're about to state.
Charlie Kirk was also supposed to play a hand in that.
Yes.
You know, for things.
With the youth.
For people who don't know, he eventually started using the moniker Thought Crimes out of the blue 3 years ago. And him and his buddies said, we're about to go Thought Crimes. They're all dumb. I don't think they even really read 1984 or Animal Farm or anything like that. They're really dumb people. But anyway, Charlie Kirk was supposed to be one of the biggest figures to push anti-black agenda. Black people were too stupid to be in universities. Black people shouldn't be pilots. Black people this, black people that. You know, Also with allegations of some people having rumors that he was gay on the low, Rob Smith. But anyway, he got necked, and he's no longer here, and his trial is taking place right now. But he was one of the main figures as well, trying to push this. Now he got in trouble though, because eventually, the carnage that took place in Gaza was too much for him. And he started to speak out against his masters. And they are his masters because they gave him everything. They gave him money. They gave him shelter. They funded his entire life.
They gave him new teeth.
And so when he started to question Gaza, eventually, he was being called anti-Semitic.
Well, they also said he was doing a lot of other things where he was behind the scenes, which that is a preeminent one right there. It's a big one because that is who basically funded his entire career. But again, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be using all of these individuals and these personalities. And some of you all are catching on, or you guys know, we have some well-researched individuals in the chat. In fact, we got professors in the chat too, by the way. So there's a lot of people that are, politically astute. They're aware. And I just tell you guys overall, realistically, just like with Sin and I, we see certain patterns and pattern recognition, and we say, hey, like we talked about it in the battle, we said Game is coming outside to diss Ross. He's going to run interference with that. There's too many niggas outside on Drake. That nigga's coming outside, right? The same thing applies for politics because, that's pretty much where we're spending a lot of time. Other than that, and some other stuff as well. That's on that esoteric tier. But you have to look at this situation like these are gang members, all right? All right, if you see gang members mounting up somewhere, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 niggas over there, you're like, sweetie, let's walk the other way, right? This is what's happening right now. So, like you guys stated, shouts out to Two True says here, funny you brought up Giuliani. On a related note, dark groups. I've had to do some research on Nelson Rockefeller's vice president campaign in the 60s. Yes. Again, this has been going on for a long time, but in this moment here, what you are witnessing is kind of what Smedley Butler was talking about at the time when at first, they were kind of quote unquote about to criminalize him. But what he was talking about, there is a coup in the United States government, right? And Sid and I, we broke down before, even towards the tail end of Barack Obama, when people say the deep state, it makes people think, oh, there's just one dark cabal versus what we see in the front, right? The ambassadors of aspects of the deep state. Well, Sid and I was saying, just like you see when you see in your back neighborhood in Chicago, Jersey, Atlanta, sometimes even what you see with LA niggas, you have 5 sets of different red niggas, but they all kind of murking each other. You see the different Crips, they popping each other. It's the same thing with the deep state. Well, within the deep state, you'll have people vying for power, and if they can break someone or one aspects of the deep state's champion, they'll be able to do so. This is why you see these smear campaigns go back and forth. Only up to a degree. They're not going to completely sacrifice unless one specific unit gets all-encompassing power, which is what we've been reading about with Russell Vaught, Steve Bannon, the dead Charlie Kirk, because TPUSA was supposed to play a prominent role in grooming individuals, young white men like the ones you saw in Mississippi with the Nolan Wells situation. Young men like that, they're supposed to be groomed to a position with the TPUSA mindset.
And the UK.
And in the UK. And they're supposed to assume, where they're going to run for governorship, mayor, or whatever they're going to take place in politics, including commentary as well.
It's about the herd. So their stock, livestock. Charlie Kirk was a dude, where's my card, idiot, who really thought that his non-special ass was special because he was groomed by these people. And you got to think of people who are tacticians with shaping reality in media and culture. If they provide everything for you and you start running your mouth, they feel they can get rid of you because you're not organic. These people don't respect people that they groomed that are inorganic rise, they don't respect them. Now, that doesn't mean the people they do respect end up any better. They kill people they respect too, allegedly. But the whole point is, with Charlie Kirk and some of these other people, you run your mouth. Who the fuck are you? The bitch you with is because of us. That car you drive is because of us. People know your name because of us. Your high IQ because of us. We shaped your entire reality like the Truman Show. You did nothing. So here's the script. Say these talking points. No one cares about your own divergent thinking. Shut your mouth and read this script. And people who are completely made by these people in all industries, movie, music, politics, think tanks, whatever, when they create you and you start running your mouth and thinking that their power is your individual power, well, then that's when you get into a lot of serious issues.
That is true. And yes, absolutely. I don't want to go back to what you're saying here, Zim, because this is just tied in. Again, you guys forgive, we got to walk this one down. This is a real situation. I don't want you guys caught up in the rapture like Anita Baker. I try to give it to you guys as real as possible. Sending out, we both try to do that. You have your own interpretation. We have people that they vote Republican, they vote Democrat. We have people that they're third party candidates, or they like to vote for third party candidates in the chat. We have independents. We have people that say, bro, I voted last time left, I'm going to vote blue this time, or whatever the case. But the real play is happening. History is actually being made right now in front of you. They're going to be writing for hundreds of years about what's going to happen in 2028. People online, they got you arguing about Joy Reid and Hassan Piker. Both are severely irrelevant. Doesn't matter how much influence Hassan Piker has if the structures that they are and the power holders of those structures decide to switch one way. Just like they got Charlie Kirk out of here. After Kirk, who's Piker?
Well, Piker talked about it in the magazine. He said his mom was scared for him because he could get, harm. And yeah, any of the people who think that their rise is organic when they've been plugged in from the very beginning into certain syndicates, absolutely.
Yeah, because
I'm sure they will be worried because you veer off of what your character is supposed to do, then you can get into a lot of trouble.
So Piker's going to try to stay on script with that mom wig of his. All right. So for me, as much as they're touting him and giving him fluff pieces and Rolling Stone, it means nothing to me. Because I saw the same thing with Charlie Kirk, just from another political ideology. In fact, to Sin's point, yes, in his article and interview and the write-up, the fluff piece that they gave him, white propaganda, positive propaganda, of course he's going to talk about my mother's concern, right? But guess what? After Charlie Kirk got murked, what did they find out with his text messages when he was texting Candace Owens? He was scared about getting popped. Means nothing. You got to understand with new media, one of the things is you got to deal with reality. At the end of the day, you're a media personality. Okay? We're talking about people that actually hold power versus your influence. Can the influence be converted to power? Yes, but also the power of the money usually can subvert the influence. So if you're stepping one way, we pay you enough to stop talking about something, and now you have trafficked your audience in a different direction.
Yeah, that's true. Like, especially, look, if you're not independent and you don't have influence based off your own individual power or your own group, whatever group that's independent, I don't care if you're a 12-click group, 20 group, 100 people in a group, whatever. If y'all using your own resources, your own funds, y'all getting it out the mud, and y'all have influence, that's a real danger, because that's something that the Monopoly boys didn't artificially create. If they artificially created you, it's like, bro, I plugged you in to CNN, to Fox News. You think these platforms give a fuck about you? If it wasn't for us calling them up, said, put this bum on this platform, put this bum on that platform, put this bum here. He got a script for us that we want him to do. This is our boy. This is our girl. If you weren't groomed in their syndicate, you would not be seen or heard anywhere. Although This is the danger of the internet, because even though the internet can also put it on crack people who are artificial, people who are not artificial can also be seen still as well. So, this is also why they do have plans pertaining to the internet and social media as well.
And again, even with the social media censorship, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's bipartisan. It's a bipartisan effort. Okay? It was a bipartisan effort with the acquisition of TikTok. It was a bipartisan effort when you're talking about Oracle, you're talking about Ellison, or the Ellison boys, the father-son dynamic plastic surgery duo. Look, this is the real game here. All right? The culture wars, at the most, ladies and gentlemen, you can just make money off of it. I hate to tell you, it don't matter, white space, black space, Jew space. At the most, you can make money off of it.
And what's funny, Prince, like The Truman Show, which is a great film with starring Jim Carrey.
Yes, classic.
The saddest thing is very rare for a dummy, and I'm just saying, like a crash dummy.
You can learn a lot from a dummy.
It's very rare that they know they are the dummy, which is very sad. The Bugatti boys.
Yeah. They're the best slaves. You don't know you.
I would say 99.9% of the people they elevate
are crash dummies.
I would say I've only seen maybe one or two, maybe historically, that I know what this is.
In modern times, we're talking about social media.
I know what I've agreed to.
Yeah.
I know what's going on, but I'm playing into it because I still want the money and all that other stuff or power. But 99.9.
You talking about like Jake from Training Day, man? Give me the crack pipe,
right?
Man, just go and give me that crack pipe.
99.9% of them actually believe I worked hard.
No,
they picked me. I'm a pick me because
I'm special.
I'm special.
I've been ordained by God.
It's always ego.
Yes.
Like remember, ego is a trap. They picked me because I'm special. Yeah. I'm special.
Especially
I'm
stupid.
special. No, they picked you because you're stupid.
I don't need no new clothes or cars because I'm special. What did Gucci Mane say? All right, so let's run this little clip here of Moldy Bannon here, because it's very important for you guys to follow these individuals, because this cuts across all of the class warfare. This cuts across all of the cultural warfare. All right, one of the reasons why hip-hop is largely ineffective, ladies and gentlemen, it's effective in the sense of the party in power that's in office right now. Rick Ross, you want to get some of this money? Come on over here. Snoop Dogg, you want to get some of this money? Come on over here.
Don't forget Bootsy.
Bootsy, you want to get ripped off? Come on over here. It's your stupid ass, all right? So hip-hop at this point in time, it plays ball with the power. And I'll give you this. It's not a necessary clean sellout. Let's be real. There's a lot of people in hip-hop, a lot of cultural figures, a lot of very powerful figures in hip-hop. It's not a clean sellout. A lot of times what happens is that the record labels they're tied to are in bed with these people. So then when the artist gets a wild hair up their ass and they say, you know what, I want to say something, man. I want to say something, folks, man. Rest in peace, Nip Hussle, man. Yeah, let's talk about Trump. Somebody go pull them in. You're not going to talk about that.
Or even when they do, here's the sick thing. Even if they say pro-black, pro-women, pro-this,
all of those
that,
things, yes.
You're still signed and directly connected to the people who gave you everything. Yeah. And because of this is why at any time, whether by accident or on purpose, all mainstream artists are compromised. The big three, all pop stars, everyone, every fucking body, all compromised by default. Yeah. So this is why you have also people who are from the industry in alternative media trying to make you think that one of these people are a savior. Please.
Well, that's why we're just bringing this up realistically when it concerns
international business and with those type of conglomerates and be
with the
not plugged in. Come on.
No, Sid is right. No, it's very important that you guys understand it. Again, it's not villainizing any one specific rapper, but realistically, Meek Mill was bunny hopping with Rick Rubin. I mean, Mike, what's his name? Rubin. Y'all know who I'm talking.
Michael Rubin.
It's
yeah.
a bunch of Rubin. Dave Rubin, Rick Rubin, Michael Rubin, the Rubin Report. It's all of them, right? Folks, you saw LeBron James trashing Memphis.
Those for the poors.
Right? That's why it's sitting there we saying, folks, there's people we've spoken to, they're like, look, they don't like what they're saying, but they saying, what's the point of them speaking? They said behind the scenes, they said one person they already had their bag killed in the process just for them simply disagreeing with stuff.
We saw with Pearl Jam, they got severely in trouble when they went up against Ticketmaster, and this was before Live Nation partnered up with them.
Yeah, and this was under the Clear Channel format.
Yeah, and they suffered, and they're not talking right now anymore. But also, we said Thought Crimes. We don't listen to what people tell us to do or try to tell us to do. We talk to everybody. We talk to Republicans. We talk to Democrats. We talk to different think tanks. We talk to different rappers. We talk to different stand groups. We don't give a fuck. The reason why is you got to understand, if you talk to everybody, you get a clearer photo and image of what's going on.
Yes.
And, to what Prince and I are saying, when you're talking about these people and their bandwidth of what they can do, many of them are just focused on their competitor. So if you're a rapper, you're not really focused on what is taking place behind the scene with the global world. You're thinking about this other rapper's my op, or this guy got a couple of billionaires, I got a couple of billionaires, I want to compete for whatever our superficial thing in hip hop, and that's how deep it goes. You trying to get you and your team on, like even when people talk about this Jay-Z and Drake and all this other stuff, because we're gonna get to the Beyonce thing in a moment. It's a very short-sighted way of talking about things.
Well,
even when Jay-Z talked about there's a right-wing agenda, he was telling the truth, but it's a half-truth, because there's people who he partnered up with or who's in his inner circle who do business with the right-wing agenda all the time to make money. You're just doing it at a more advanced rate than, streamers screaming about, yeah, I'm for Trump, and wait a minute, I changed my mind, or wait a minute, I regret for being for Trump. The streamers are at a lower end level of the political game. Sometimes they for somebody because they're fanboying out for a particular politician, or they think on a lower level, like they're going to get some money or maybe some deals. But at a higher level, even your favorite artist who speaks against alt-right stuff has some type of connection in business to those type of energies.
Yeah, so again, we're not going to go too far, but it does go in the same space. This is why you're seeing so much infighting in hip hop, because there's not a real power hub for where hip hop largely gets a chance to flex its quote unquote political theoretical muscle. If we're talking about, I don't know, Clinton or Obama, whether you agree with them politically or not, there still was a cultural space for them to have these conversations and talk about anti-blackness and anti-Semitism and talk about Kwanzaa and Hanukkah days and all this other stuff, right? Today, you have an administration that has been able to pull a lot of uncouth things. So there's also what we saw leaning on media, so interrupting deal acquisitions. This is why Stephen Colbert was a casualty. This is what we saw with Jimmy Kimmel being leaned on publicly, right?
He was
because of his
protected because of
right.
What would you say? He had, I guess Jimmy, because not only the backers, but you would say because Jimmy was put on alert after what happened to the other guy,
right?
So he had time to kind of prepare more.
And it also could, an effective media campaign too, right? So, you're not going to really get that level of protection like we bring up with Claudine Gay. She's out. That's it. Moving on, right? Or what happened with Jason over in the UK. He's out. We're moving on. Again, this is a constant theme found in all pockets of political and cultural America concerning quote unquote blacks being the expendables, playing the role of Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
And also, can I also say here, why is that the case? Why are people confused by this? Black people are one of the oldest groups in the United States. One of the oldest groups in the United States, right? But we're one of the latest groups to be ingratiated into institutions. So even if you talk about, some people who are black who just recently came here, because Claudine Gay is not someone whose lineage who's been here for a long time. But she's a black face with dark skin, so they treat her the same. She hasn't had the same type of influence to... Yeah, people liked her. They fought for her a little bit. But she don't have the same relationships as some of these other people do, where if they're on the liberal side, right, and their uncle or grandfather is an alt-righter. That grandfather who has a lot of connections. You're not going to fucking touch my niece or nephew. I don't give a fuck about their loopy-loop progressive thought process. Okay? You already reprimanded them. That's good enough. They're going to stay in their fucking position. I will talk to them. That's how the white and Jewish infrastructure work, which is why all the white and Jewish people who were had allegations of plagiarism, they were not removed. Whether they're liberal or conservative, they have been able to ingratiate themselves easily into institutions, and even groups of people who recently immigrated here have been able to go further into institutions that black people created, co-created, or build even with their bare hands. That's how the game is running here in the United States, and also their hubs in certain parts of Europe, and what they're trying to do even in South and Central America through Argentina. So they're trying to, how in ancient times there were trade routes for where's the best, like everybody, they put on a map, okay, I go here for my spices, I go here for gold. They have their own markers on the map of how we can suffocate black people and how we can deinstitutionalize anything connected to black people, while at the same time, where white people are stupid, they're trafficking your fucking kids. Dennis Prager, who has been trying to deinstitutionalize black people, and he blocked black authors in Florida and all that stuff. They let him be in charge, PragerU, of black history. This guy recently said that AI child pornography is okay because it's a victimless crime. These are the minds that are controlling the resources, this type of thinking. So yes, while they're focusing on having these coward groups that, progressives tried to brainwash black people for a long time. All these groups collectively are allies to black people. Remember, the allyship is on thin ice because they can offer an Indian student, after saying they smelt like shit and being racist to them, Laura Loomer, they can about face and say, you know what, Indian guy, Indian family, I said y'all smelled like poop. I'm sorry, as she did over there in India when she's trying to get their resources and their help, because the Trump administration sent her out. I just want to say I'm sorry to the Indian community of like all the racist things that I said. And remember, what's another thing Laura Loomer need Indian people for? Well, no rivalry runs worse than people who are kin to each other. India and Pakistan used to be one whole region. For anyone who don't know the history, they had a civil war. Eventually was put into two different countries. India is made up of Hindus and Pakistan is made up of Muslims. And nothing hurts worse than family drama. So, one of the things they also do for the darker groups of the world is when they need something from them, they start to put their finger into old wounds. And so, the groups will usually capitulate, especially if they want to try to, in their minds, they think they're going to, it puts them in a position of power to possibly be in a situation where they can be looked at like the Western world is looked at, of having wealth, intelligence, and power. So going back to this, there's nobody to worship. You have to think, whatever your process is as a human being, or y'all in the chat, however y'all go about living your life, whether y'all trying to get into tech and do your own thing, or entertainment industry and do your own thing, it's very dangerous to think like a groupie. You can appreciate people and support, but you can't be infatuated with anyone, because that is how you're gotten in this thing. There's a lot of people who were hurt because they thought this group rolled for them and it didn't happen because money and resources was put into the situation. They even do it to certain celebrities who were cool with each other. I mean, Winona Ryder and Gwyneth Paltrow were friends. It only took one movie script. When Winona Ryder, she said, she was going to do that. I don't know. What was the movie?
I know what you're talking about. Midnight Summers. Was that it?
No, it was some
I don't know. Shakespeare in Love?
Yes. Something like that.
It's all this shit the same. Go ahead.
So, Winona Ryder was going to go for the role. She had the script on the table.
Right.
Gwyneth Paltrow read it. She went into the audition and she got the role without telling her friend.
Got her.
99% of things do not survive that space when it talks about fame, money, and power.
Resources.
Your friends, you're no longer friends. Your family, you're no longer family. Your comrades, y'all no longer comrades. You're black, well, I'm a new black. I'm not your black. You know what I'm saying? I'm like what Pharrell said. I'm Jewish. No, I'm white. I'm a white man. Oh wait, now minorities are trying to come at me. No, I'm not white. So in that space,
when he said new black, I was like, where you come from? New Detroit?
In that space, all the things that you value or thinks is supposed to hold weight all the way through, they don't.
All right, so let's run the last part of this clip here, going back to Steve Bannon here, so you guys can understand what's been going on. And again, just like the Democrats didn't really talk about Project 2025, they did not really talk about American heritage. They didn't talk about the sitting head or the ambassador of American heritage. They did not really investigate. I saw and listened to some obscure podcasts on Spotify that covered it, and they didn't really have that many. Very well produced. I mean, almost like Wondery. They were very well produced. Didn't really get that many spins or listens. And I'm talking about, this is why you know all of this is rigged. Back then, when Tiffany Cross-Eyed was talking about black men get behind us, she should have been talking about American heritage. You shouldn't have been genderizing black people as a voting bloc. Same thing with Roland Naked Martin, right? At the time when y'all was banging on genderism within the black community, y'all should have been talking about American heritage. You should have been talking about VRA every day. I wanted to hear more of that than CM Plies and his commentary that was very terrible on politics. Clearly he was being paid. Clearly he was being paid to be a celebrity / influencer. People wasted time. So let's run into this right now because they're wasting time again. And this is an older conversation from Chief Bannon. Let's go.
I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. We're working on 5 or 6 different alternatives that President Trump could run again and be president. And quite frankly, I think 4 or 5 of them are going to work. And I continue to say, as I told Bill Maher, on the afternoon of January 20th of 2029, Donald Trump's going to be president for his 3rd term.
Y'all heard that? I'm going to run that back one more time.
I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. We're working on 5 or 6 different alternatives that President Trump could run again and be president. And quite frankly, I think 4 or 5 of them are going to work. And I continue to say, as I told Bill Maher, on the afternoon of January 20th of 2029, Donald Trump's going to be president for his 3rd term.
And get into Mr.'s point, says, can we talk about all of the above, Prince? Though, yes, there are more important topics than the gender war. I'm going to say, for me personally, you guys can do what you want. For me, the answer is no.
Wait, what he wanted us to go more into? What?
If we're talking about genderism and gender war dynamics, I'm going to say, I'm speaking for myself, Sin has her opinion. For me, cannot be talked about at this point anymore. I think I think we've indulged enough into it. And not only that, remember, influencers, and the reason why it's not really going to be that fair of a conversation, because remember, the deep state are backing influencers to divert even these conversations into languishing, stuck talking points all day, where you don't get a chance to talk about the more important issues that actually need to be talked about. I think, again, Roland Martin, me and Sin, we covered what he was doing. It was too much, him and Tiffany Cross, along with Angela Rye. It was too much about black man, black woman politics. It was too much theorizing and being online on CNN, making up false statistical narratives about the amount of black men voting for Donald Trump, when in reality, you guys are highlighting streamers that y'all allow to come onto the Breakfast Club uncontested, like Neon, who's not even black.
He did not contest it to Candace too.
Yeah, so clearly there's even Sam bringing up that point that how the Breakfast Club handled Candace Owens with kitty gloves. You guys are not going to have any more spaces to even have those conversations because
hip hop platforms is some of the
they shot Shawty.
No offense, it's some of the dumbest platforms to talk when they talk about politics.
Bought and paid for.
It's not really that much of a breadth of conversation. Like Prince said, I'm on the fence because I think gender conversations wars is a little bit dumb because it's more internal. Like, you can choose whatever woman you want to date and you can choose whatever man you want to date. It's just so much freedom there that if you're talking about the political angle of it, then yes, like what Roland was doing and Angela Rye and all of them, or if it's in the realm of politics, then I think we can talk about the gender war stuff. But most gender war stuff is dumb because it's like, just pick whatever fucking woman you want or pick whatever guy you want and let's move the fuck on. Like, it's not a situation where, let's say when we're talking about the financial structure, we know there's a lot of dangers there because of crony capitalism. They say it's a free market, but that's a lie, because every time somebody is innovative who don't come from these syndicates and they do something big, they get in trouble and they have to go through all this litigation. And so that's something that's on average, and that happens a lot to black people. Yes, it happens to all of the group, the guys who originally came up with Tesla, they got it stolen by Elon. So it could happen to anybody, or what happened with McDonald's. But they really do it to black Americans at an accelerated rate. So that's the type of things that take up Prince and I, we pay attention to behind the scenes. It's just that when it comes to who you date or have sex with, it's like, it's you. Take accountability and take responsibility, whether you're a man or a woman. And it's such a simple thing. It's like, if you are with a woman who's hateful, who's a gold digger, and you saw she was playing you and you still there, and then after you get victimized by this woman, you start screaming about all women, well, then you're a fool. Like, why do we all have to listen to you be a crybaby as a man because you chose Elisa and you're crying about her? I mean, go get a therapist, go write in your journal and go deal with that shit on your own. And the same thing when it comes to a woman. Unless somebody, male or female, if you get sexually assaulted, that's different. But if nothing like that happens and you just got your heart broken and you're a woman and now you're like crying all over the internet because a guy played you and all that, I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, the reason why I'm very clear about this, and this is just how I operate. I feel confusion is the enemy of progress. What does an unemployed black man who don't tip, how does that affect your vote? What does a black woman with 2 baby daddies, how does that fuck up your vote? Confusion is the enemy of progress. This is where you get into stupefaction of a nation, where we blend trivial subjects and we mix everything in with the most important things. If you're trying to plan an escape out of a very dangerous scenario, you get all of the fools out of the room. You get all of the nonsense off the table. And because there's so much monetization with foolishness and nonsense, people bring too many random trivial talking points to the table. This is a grown-up space if you're talking about politics. Bannon told you what time it was. Bannon was talking like this during 2024. I go look at D.L. Hughley. He calling black men stupid online. I go to Plies. He out here acting like he didn't make Coon and Sambo music. So that's where I'm coming from with it. Again, confusion is the enemy of progress. To Sin's point, I don't care if people debate. People gonna talk about you got a mama and a daddy. Okay, some of y'all got two daddies, some of y'all got two mamas. Whatever the case is, all right. Gender is going to be a conversation because that's just who we are. But if we're talking about politics and we're talking about votes, if we're talking about what grants are getting cut out of certain neighborhoods based on race, that has nothing to do with dating, who you mad at, whether you date black women or not, whether you date black men or not. That has nothing to do with the vote.
Well, I will also say that because like there are a lot of black people who are doing the damn thing.
Yes.
Like they trying to act like black people out here being bums. Like let's stop because of bad dating choices. I'm looking at how there are people who are assassinating black people who are doing everything right. Right. Which is a good amount of black people in blue collar world and white collar. Yeah. And they're butchering them up. Anybody who's gonna fuck up, they're gonna fuck up no matter what you do. And I'm not wasting my fucking resources around fuck ups. Okay? And you gotta have that mindset too. You wanna preserve people who are going in the right direction that these institutions are trying to destroy and kill versus wiping the asses of people who are gonna fuck up anyway. So what's the point of even talking about them? And also one thing that people do need to learn beyond just gender stuff, you have to be able to see through deception. That's the most important thing. Even if a personal relationship, a man and woman can pass all the criteria. She got a good job, this and that, all that. But if you can't see past deception, you may not know that guy who wears a suit. You don't know if he a fucking serial rapist. You don't know if that woman is a organ trafficker. I'm going to extremes here, but beyond people looking good on paper, you just got to be a person who trusts your intuition. You got to see past deception so you don't be a victim if you're talking about personal relationships with a man or a woman. But beyond that,
don't have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of systems who are hurting people who are doing everything right. And I'm not wasting, again, Prince and I'm not wasting our resources on people who aren't going in the right direction anyway.
You gotta look at it right quick, just to say this. Bannon told y'all, and shouts out to Mister, you funny player. He said the nigga went to Dr. Strange and saw 5 million possibilities for Trump to be a president third time around. That was funny. But look, y'all, I mean, it is something to kind of manage, because we participate in, the bread and circus in the spaces we choose to, bring in other information in that's a lot more sound and credible. But realistically, I mean, he talking about, how we can slide Trump's bones back into office in 2028. And we do have people on these quote unquote glorified, glamorized, iHeart driven platforms talking about body count. Who got more body count? Who washed who ass? I didn't know how to wash my ass until my wife came. And then this man right here telling y'all, no, we working on 5 or 6 possibilities for Trump to become president for the third time. That's where we're talking about the fallacy of culture. And this is where you get into the fallacy of culture. See, people screaming all of this stuff, but the fallacy of culture is you're missing the connectivity here, and there's a disconnectedness going on right now of what we're talking about, this bread and circus, and what these boys are talking about right now. You get what I'm saying? So, if Sin got anything else to say on this, you heard it here. Trump did put on that Pyru 2028 hat. People laughed at him. Some people got uncomfortable in the room. Some of them got uncomfortable because it's like, nah, we kind of been educated about Trump, right? You see what's going on with Chief Boebert right now, Supreme Court Justice, and you see what's going on even there with Clarence Thomas and what he's been pushing for as well. So I'm just being honest with you. I survey the political space. I check out Tabitha Speaks, and I think her and a few others but they're black. Them getting it means it almost sometimes don't mean nothing to me because black people, on average, most of the political commentators that are not tied to the big boy networks, they all get it.
Shout out to Nicole.
Yeah.
Well, it does still matter because we don't want to take things for granted for the people who do get it. Even though there are a lot of black people who get it, they do have black body snatchers who are out here wasting time You know, they're not talking about
Like
the
Tatum got people arguing.
Yeah.
Tatum, he traveling down there. How he gonna travel to Mississippi, but he can't get on a treadmill?
You see how we didn't just talk about Jason Arday and just make it, oh, it's just a racism and
No, it's more nuanced.
We told y'all about the web behind the scenes.
Yes.
We said it's connected to Yarvin. It's connected to Peter Thiel. It's even connected to Bill Ackman. Like, you see how we even in hip hop, people get mad at us because this is how we naturally talk. I'm not gonna just, even when people got mad because we didn't just put something all the way on Drake or all the way on Kendrick or all the way on Jay-Z, even though Rock Nation has its problems that we still have to address. But, you know, it's just the truth. Like, if you don't talk about these execs behind the scenes, you're just having easy conversations that make it better for you, you know? Like on Patreon, we talked about why Diddy didn't get hit with the RICO, because then other people in major corporations and businesses will have to get brought up. And also going back to Jeffrey Epstein, why did he commit suicide? And y'all know what that means when I say that lightly. That's to try to stop the trail from connecting to other people. So, going now to the Beyonce topic with this old footage. I don't think we're playing the footage because it was brought out by the Suns and also the Daily Mail, and I don't know if it's a copyright to it or whatever. The footage is on our Patreon. But Beyonce at 19 was sitting on Marc's lap. And Prince is going to go further into Marc, who Marc is. Marc was someone who was working with Michael Jackson to try to better his image when Michael was dealing with allegations of messing with children. Also, Michael eventually fired Marc because he said Marc directed gay porn. And he said Marc never told him that when Michael Jackson hired him. So Michael Jackson was very irritated. When he fired Marc, Marc turned against Michael Jackson and started putting out rumors about Michael Jackson. But what happened is he ended up getting in trouble with Marc, and the FBI investigated Marc for child pornography. And so Marc ended up getting investigated. And this is the guy who Beyonce, sat on his lap. And, Prince, you could take it from there, go more into Marc and all that other stuff.
Okay, and before we transition, I want to bring up something that you brought up before you did. They did a good job here, saying I just want to say this. This guy here on the screen is Curtis Yarvin. All right. Now, some people will sit online and try to make you more familiar with whoever's tied to any of these other camps. All right. Whether it's in rap or whether we're talking about the Democrats or whatever. Even with all of these guys that I see, I go through the list. I can list all of the well-known, quote-unquote, progressive leftist popping media. All right? As the ladies say, the popping media. They don't talk about any of this stuff. Because what you will come to find out, even though their theocracy politically, they will say, I'm against the Republicans. We're against the red. But a lot of them also, through dark web money and dark money, just in general, all right, you heard the dynamics between Brian Tyler Cohen, that whole controversy that went on with dark money and influencers and people on TikTok finding that their faces were being used for campaigns funded by dark money. And they say, hey, take my face down. A lot of times these guys like Curtis Yarvin, who also is a proponent of black people and slavery, right? And he is one of the dark think minds that was prominently behind the individual that went after Jason in the UK, the professor that they found him dead when they accused him of plagiarism, and even though they found out he didn't do anything wrong. And it was basically a digital lynching. And again, Sin and I believe that was a thought experiment to see how effective and dangerous and deadly you can weaponize media. And they specifically targeted a black man who was the youngest black professor in Cambridge's 800-year history.
We thought it was in our personal opinion, we thought it was a ritual setup and killing.
Seems like a ritual situation.
And we go through all the characters on the Patreon. The Patreon's pinned to the top, so make sure y'all check that out. And Prince, just let you know before you finish your point, we have a super chat.
Thank you, Sin. The Cruel Guy back in the building again. The Cruel Guy, you remember I used to kept saying your name Cruology? You was like, man, that's cool, Prince, but that nigga cannot read. Shouts out to the Cruel Guy, though. My bad, because it was the way he had it written. It was dope how he had it written. It says, top of a TC, Z, and TT. He says, this off topic, but did y'all see Dr. Umar's NBA championship prediction on the Art of Dialogue last night? No, we did not see it. Are y'all talking about like a Kobe, serpent, snake, Philadelphia's type of theme? Y'all let me know in the chat, because it's Sending that we talked about it's a lot of funny stuff goes on around Kobe Bryant's death and like how the NBA moved in that regard. But sending that we talked about it a little bit. But I don't know
if it's the championship thing. If it's connected to Kobe, a lot of people been talking about that. But if Umar has a different spin to it, let us know.
Let us know what did Umar say. Ain't Umar from Philly?
Yes, he is.
He from Philly.
So he going ooh.
I'ma say this again. I'ma say this again.
Umar about to use this opportunity.
Y'all know Umar says everything 3 times. All right, but
go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to put this on the screen for you guys to understand. This is Curtis Yarvin, one of the more important think tankers in politics now at this point in time and social media. All right. Not that I think anything is brilliant about the guy. I'm just telling you guys, sending out, we just tell you like how much influence he has over a lot of Silicon Valley tech bros. A lot of them look up to him as Oprah in that space behind the scenes. And he has a lot of racist doctrines that he believes in. Eugenics talking points. They got all of this Black Mirror stuff that they want to do. So again, if you look at what goes on, most of these larger progressive media hubs who also are outfitted through Silicon Valley, they don't really talk about Curtis Yarvin. In fact, I've seen a lot of them, as much as they bang on Trump all day, behind the scenes, I've seen some of them kick it with Curtis Yarvin while claiming they're against the Republicans.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, anybody, no offense, is no shade, this is just being honest. Anybody in rap talk about there's a right-wing agenda, they are in business with the right-wing agenda as well, many of them, which is why we don't single one particular artist out. And since many of y'all are talking about Omar...
Yeah, what did he say?
We'll check it out. They want us to watch it. We'll check out art. We'll check it out after this stream.
All right, Joe. We'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, after this live show, we'll check it out, and then we'll write our thoughts on it, or maybe do a 5-minute piece of our thoughts on it on the Patreon exclusively, so y'all can hear our thoughts on what Umar said pertaining to.
Look at Umar making the impact.
Right.
Umar making the impact. Who do y'all think makes the bigger impact, Dr. Umar Johnson or Dr. Charleston White?
Also, Unique said Nicki Minaj did say when there's Jay-Z, Beyonce news, someone passes to drown the noise. Peep Hayden. Also, let's see, you have Filmtown. He said I was old. Returns of X-Files last. All right. Before we go into this one, Prince, we're gonna break down Marc, because she's not just on any JABBA the HUTT slap, but we need the Illuminati button.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring this out here real quick. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it, and we're going to be talking about this footage, surprisingly, that popped up online. I believe it was yesterday, if I recall correctly. It may have been yesterday it showed up. And I believe it was released by the Daily Mail, or was it
Sun?
The Sun. Yeah. Now, I got to keep in mind with the Sun. Well, go ahead, Sam. I'm gonna let you say what you need to say. Like you about to say something.
When there was somebody on our Patreon who loves Rock Nation, and she got mad at us because Daily Mail ran the article on Megan Thee Stallion, and she said the N media, NIGGER, media. She said has been very hateful to Black people. I said to her, she was bringing up academics and looping us in and all that. It's like Prince and I do our own thing. We're not plugged into people who are pro Drake or Kendrick. Like, we do our own thing. So she was calling them in media, and then I responded to her. I'm like, why are you on our Patreon harassing all these black people who are paid for our Patreon? The Daily Mail is not even ran by black people. It's ran by white people from the UK. And this is a thing that happens a lot, even in hip-hop media. As much as we cook on hip-hop media platforms being redundant and not forward-thinking, at the same time, people, black celebrities always are scapegoating black hip-hop media at the same time, because most of the people who come after them is other industry people, number one, and white people and Jewish people from the industry. So, like, why are you bothering us? And also, going back to the Daily Mail was also connecting Jay-Z and P. Diddy together and trying to tie them in to the Epstein files. And they ran an article on the Russian billionaire that ended up being dead, connected to Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy as well. These are all things talked about mostly by the Daily Mail, and then I would also say the Sun, that comes out and, talks about occultism and some other things pertaining to celebrities. But can we show the photo, though, of Beyonce sitting on Marc's lap? And from there, you can go into Marc's history for people who don't know much about Marc and his connections in the industry.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put this on the screen for y'all to see real quick. And speaking about what sin is, we're bringing up, or we have to harper on a little bit. Look, a lot of time, some of the black stands from Blackistania, whether there stands for Drake, Kendrick, Beyonce, Nicki, sometimes when it comes to black people who are presenting in media, whether they are doing gossip dynamics or maybe they're doing investigative reporting, a lot of times you feel you can talk to black people that way. That lady was on our Patreon. She felt she could talk to us by calling us NIGGER media, right? I said, lady, you can go. All right.
Well, she didn't call us directly, but she was getting close to lumping us in there, because she
brought
said
it up.
she was a part of a group chat where they called certain people NIGGER.
She was a black woman. She was being shady. Okay.
She was being shady.
She was being a shady black woman. All right. They ain't going to say it all the time. You're either going to get black women that are direct or they shady. It's either one. All right. So when she said that, I said, whatever. Right. Because, again, this is out in the media. So Marc Schaefer, if I believe his name is Marc Scaffel, or Scaffel. It could be Scaffel or Scaffel. I think
like
it's
Scaffel.
It might be Scaffel, though. I think it's Scaffel.
Scaffel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Marc Scaffel, there's footage going around. It popped up yesterday. At least it came across my timeline yesterday. Posted up on our Patreon. Never before seen footage shows a young Beyonce. She was 19 at this time.
Yeah, she was 19 allegedly.
And Marc Scaffel says this is the first time she gets a chance to speak to Michael Jackson. So
And he told her to sit on my lap.
He said, sit on my lap.
And this is a guy who used to direct gay porn, and which Michael said he didn't know about, and Michael said he fired him because of that. And this is a man who was investigated by the FBI for child pornography.
So if you want to get a chance, you can check out the footage. I'm sure you may have already come across it.
It's
My honest opinion, I'm not surprised. Beyonce has been in the industry. Remember, she's a child star that has grown into the adult pop star / pop legend that she's become. And so the dynamics in the industry are just that. People are handsy. They're pretty much handsy to violating. And I think for a lot of people to see Beyonce, because for the most part, better yet of her career, people have known Beyonce as having self-autonomy. She represents fiery women, fiery energy of a woman. And so to see Beyonce being told to sit on a Jabba the HUTT lap, for a lot of people online, it threw them, But again, I'm not necessarily surprised. Sid and I, we just tell you guys, look, things are not what they seem to be to the general public. You know, and I see people online arguing. I see pro-Rock Nation people all in the mix. I see anti-Rock Nation people mocking and laughing at the situation. But, you know, again, to Sin's point, I think the bigger issue, because she's 19 here, is the guy's very shady history.
And let's go into it.
All right.
What we doing, twin? Let's get into it.
So with Marc Scaffel here, yes, he did. He was an associate of Michael Jackson. Let me just run this to you all. His name is he's a producer. F. Marc Scaffel shared previously unseen 2001 footage of a 19-year-old Beyonce from a long-shelved reality TV project. So the project was shelved. It was a reality TV project centered on Michael Jackson, all right? And the recovered clip features a young Beyonce blushing while taking a phone call from Michael Jackson during a studio session for a post 9/11 charity track. Okay? And
just to remember after
Go ahead,
9/11, you had like Ja Rule, Beyonce, and all other celebrities, Bono, and also Bono from U2. He has his own controversies and skeletons too. But go ahead, continue, because they want to know more about Marc. Many of them saying they don't know who Marc is. They want to know more about Marc. And also, if y'all go into the archive of our Patreon, we talked about other photographers, producers who got in trouble with child pornography, including Stranger Things, one of the young actors at that time. His family had to fire one of the talent agents they had who was caught up in that type of stuff. And also a famous photographer who's been in and out of prison who got fired, and he used to do like weird photos of Leonardo DiCaprio and River Phoenix and all that. Also on the Patreon, so people can, if they want to look into those things, they can.
all right, so let's get into the history here. Now, one of the issues that is in Marc Scaffel's troubled history. Now, to keep this in mind, Marc goes on to marry Debbie Rowe. Debbie Rowe is the mother of Michael Jackson's children. Okay? Now, again, you know, a lot of speculations, clearly, like obviously, but the original point is that Michael Jackson agreed to a parental dynamic between Debbie Rowe and I believe the individual that impregnated her, which was not Michael Jackson. Okay, so that was an arranged situation. So, but Debbie Rowe goes on to marry Marc, who used to work for Michael Jackson. All right. So listen to this. Gay porn ties made the king of pop angry. Michael Jackson tried to fire the man he hired to produce a benefit recording for victims of the 2001 terrorist attacks after learning the associate once directed gay porn movies, according to the entertainer's former lawyer. All right. Zia Modaber testified Monday that he broke the news to Michael Jackson. Bless you, Sin.
Thank you.
Broke the news to Michael Jackson about F. Marc Scaffel's background, showing him a video of Scaffel at an adult film shoot. He says here, I think he didn't want to believe it was real or true, says Zia. He appeared angry and upset. Now, you know, Michael Jackson, because of, number one, he's a Jehovah's Witness. But number two, Michael Jackson at this time in 2001, he didn't want no sexual scandals around him.
Yeah, so he fired Marc because he's like, look, you're supposed to make my image look good, and you directed gay porn. He said, look, I don't have nothing against gay people, but it's like, bro, you know, I can't have you being in my business operation. So when Michael fired him, Marc went on a whole anti-Michael Jackson campaign.
He says here, again, I'll restate this. I think he didn't want to believe it was real or true, says Zia. He appeared to be angry and upset. Jackson called Scaffel and told him he was off the charity project, said Scaffel, who also took the stand Monday. Jackson is being sued by Scaffel for $3.8 million for what Scaffel says was unrepaid loans and expenses and unpaid salary work on the charity record called What More Can I Give? All right. Motorbird's testimony, this is Zia, was elicited as Jackson's side sought to show Scafel enriched himself at the entertainer's expense. Motorbird says Motorbird was permitted to testify on limited subjects after invoking attorney-client privilege. So what he was saying is that he can only go so far without disclosing information concerning attorney-client dynamics. So he continues on here. He identified a stack of letters that moved between him and Scafel's lawyers after Scafel was notified that he was being terminated by Jackson. All right. My focus was on doing what I could to get the rights to release the single. Motorbird said of the song, which was being held up because Scafel claimed rights to it. He says here, I got involved with trying to clean up that mess, said Motorbird. Motorbird's letters continually warned that Scafel has no right to exploit, distribute, or in any way pledge any interest in the master recordings of What More Can I Give? But he said that Scafel went ahead and at one point collected $900,000 from the company Music Fighters, and he said that the company essentially received nothing. So just to put it briefly, the article is a little bit more. Let me read a little bit more here. It says, in a videotape deposition shown earlier in the trial, Jackson unequivocally stated that he was the composer of the song and that the rights belonged to him. With Motorbird still on the witness stand, Scafel's lawyer, Howard King, attempted to show that Jackson intended for Scafel to have the rights to the record. Motorbird said that he was aware in 2003 Jackson began working on something with Scafel again and protested, saying we should not be doing business with Scafel. Now, this was a complaint by some of the people that were tied to Michael Jackson, that they kind of said that he was a little hard-headed sometimes, all right? Some people said, bro, why would you work with this scammer again? Like, he tried to scam me the first time. Why are we working with him again? Anyway, so the reason why that footage wasn't necessarily never seen, because the project was shelved because, as you guys can see, with the legalities and things of that nature. Now, again, Scafel has been tied to the porn industry, and also it was in question, did he have the use of minors in his adult films as well?
Yeah, so he was accused not just of consensual gay porn. He was also had investigations done on him by the FBI because they felt minors were involved, and also he got in trouble with child pornography as well. And also, I personally think that there's going to be more leaks or more things like this are going to come out on Beyonce.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, as we talked about before, I don't run behind any celebrity because their stuff, it's not like they're not focused on structural things. They fight each other all the time. This is how all their business get leaked, you know, publicly. And also with this whole situation that's happening between Jay-Z and Drake and all that, and Kendrick and all these people, and from 2024 onward, it was escalated with people's allegations and rumors about people being put on blast. I mean, until people possibly make peace with each other, which it looks like that's not going to happen, I just look for more shit like this to come out. But like Prince said, he told the history of Marc. Marc is a fat POS. He's been in the industry a while. And like most people, look, I mean, these people are caught up with a lot of stuff. Halle Berry, former agent, not current one. He was given credit on discovering Halle Berry and Taraji P. Henson. He was in trouble because they said he was using Halle Berry's name to sexually assault black women. And then also one of the victims claimed that Halle Berry was even on the phone one time. Now, he fled to South Korea because I guess he's going to try to do the same thing allegedly in South Korea.
Yeah, he is doing it right now, they said.
Yeah, so he's probably, I don't know.
Set up shop again.
Could be violating K-pop stars, who knows. But these things is like a 24/7 type of thing in Hollywood. Look at what happened with Hayden before she died. She said that executives in the music and movie business violated her. tricked her in a lot of situations. Like even when she thought she was just going to a regular yacht party, it wasn't no big deal. And she said when she got out at sea, she finally realized she's in danger. That's why, when people ask us about gender wars, you should really be trying to hone in on your skills about being able to read past deception more than anything else. Why is somebody elevating me? Are they elevating me to be a crash out dummy? Are they elevating me to be a sacrifice? Are they elevating me to be, I don't know, to be trafficked or some shit? Those are the things you have to really hone in and focus on more than anything else. Are they elevating me because they're trying to scam me? Are they trying to take my money? Are they trying to take my work, my credit? There's a lot of things like that people should really focus on more than anything else. But going back to the Marc situation, yeah, he has a long crooked history in the industry. And
well, also just to say this,
go ahead, Prince.
All right, so the producer in question, again, this is Scafel here, acknowledges in an interview with the Los Angeles Times basically on Friday, that he worked in the adult film business and had produced and directed dozens of gay pornography videos. All right, and again, keep this in mind, Marc goes on to marry Debbie Rowe. Okay, because it's kind of like industry people. They all kind of like date each other, remarry, people marry friends, and all this other stuff, and all this things of that nature. Now, one of the things that had came up before, like what was stated, is whether there's allegations that at some point in time throughout his quote unquote adult film career as a director, that he also may have used minors in these gay porn videos as well. And so what you see, concerning the energy, and I think what people felt from the energy is when he told Beyonce, then 19-year-old Beyonce, to sit on his lap. People felt that energy of the fat, nasty executive. Okay. And like Sin and I said before, and I know a lot of the accounts online, they get irritated, but we always tell you guys, expect more bullshit to come out concerning y'all favorites, because there's an industry war there. All right. There's a real industry war of exposure, and if we can break the ambassador shield of rivaling companies, or, if people can move on their ops too, because some of these people don't really represent much of anything, but you've developed enough ops where people are trying to get you out the paint. So, people are online. They're kind of getting tripped out about this footage here. But again, I would definitely check out, more of the interviews with what Matthew Knowles has talked about how dark and dirty the industry is. Marc Scafel himself has been tied to a lot of controversy. He had his run-ins with Michael Jackson. And it is ironic because they're saying that Marc shared this footage himself. So I want y'all to understand that. Now, why did he do it and the documentary is shelved? I don't know. All right.
Well, he wanted to try to make it look like, see, I'm with Beyonce. Remember when
I'm that guy.
The Barclay was being worked on, and some fat guy, politician, short guy, he was like, yeah, he put out like a photo and try to make a sexual joke about Beyonce in front of Jay-Z.
He said, when you're done with her, I'm next.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's what he said. If you guys go back, that was with the breaking in, or at least the announcement of the Barclays, and Jay-Z was on stage in a suit. This is when he had a low cut. Some guy that was built like the Violator from Spawn in a suit said, basically, when you're done with her, I'm next.
Well, that's why, even with Prince and I, we try to be careful because industry people are all around on social media, on the internet and all that. So we try to keep our boundaries because people try to add us to try to trip us up into like squabbles online, and I don't want to be bothered with these people. We already told people repeatedly we existed before 2024, and we're going to exist after 2024. Obviously, it's 2026. So we going to keep with the same energy we always had. I don't want to be a part of nobody's fan club or stan club. Y'all have at it. Any of these industry people can have either valid, true allegations come out on them, or fabricated situations come out against them as well. So, Prince and I's job is to do what is right for what we represent as Dark Crimes. and continue on just doing what we do. You know, I don't have time for people be doing that tough guy talk, whether they are part of gangs or not. You know, trying to wrap this platform into traps, or even, you know, people who, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, you know, trying to get us caught up because they're doing that little gay ass squabble fights they have, that they, you know, the soldiers and lackeys of these industry people. So, you know, for us, we're just trying to get to the truth of the matter as best as possible. But yeah, I personally think Marc put out this footage a long time ago too, because he is a clout chaser, and that's another thing people got to deal with. You know, there are people who work in the industry who they like to say, I smashed Halle Berry.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was able to be over there with
Diana Ross, with Beyonce,
or Gwyneth Paltrow. You saw with Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and them, they had to apologize because Ben and them said, well, when they heard Harvey talking about this, they thought he was just exaggerating, or maybe he did.
Right.
But he used to brag all the time about having sex with
Your
Gwyneth
favorites.
Paltrow,
Yeah.
or this starlet, or this actress, or this singer with his mutated penis. So that's just how the way the game works. You know, people want you to stay in the magic because the art is the magic. That's your favorite part of these celebrities, is the artistic side of them. You know, but when that artistic bubble is burst and you're looking at how, you know, treacherous this industry is, a lot of people want to turn away because they're like, damn, I didn't sign up for all of this.
Yeah, so, you know, again, as Sin and I, we talked about it, you know, you're going to see more things getting spilled out into the public, you know, and I'm going to say this. To Sin's point, one of the things that I think, we observe the behavioral responses, but we just keep moving. I mean, it don't mean much to me whether people block us or not. I don't really care half the times.
Or get us into ego fights. I'm like, I'm not getting into
But if we say,
war.
you know, and I think we had somebody pop in the chat. Usually when there's like, kind of like, let me think about it. When it's usually, I will say when it's usually tied to Rock Nation. You know, sometimes before the stream gets started, we usually see somebody like already cutting up. They're like spitting off in the chat like a rabid dog.
Today was good though. Didn't happen.
You know, and the play is the play. You know, they're going to do it. You know, it's kind of like AI. One thing I liked about AI, he says, yeah, I mean, you know, because one of the players was like, bro, I know which way. I know AI about to shake left. He said, that's cool. You know that I'm going to do this move, but can you stop me? And Sin and I, we usually a lot of times we just said, look, this is, you know, what the play is. You know, I mean, you could spit at our platform all day, but they're still running that play. And so, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when we said what we said,
Right.
like, we said what we said about Busby, the first name that he's going to call is Jay-Z, when everybody was really shocked that Diddy. We said now Jay-Z's going to be next up. And we had people get angry. We had Rock Supremacy blocked us. I was like, nigga, I don't know what you're doing.
But people got to understand.
You know,
It's-
but it has nothing to do with what we want or not. If anything, you know, niggas should probably duck.
It's
you
just-
know, be on guard.
People like be worried. It's like only 20% spiritual. It's 80% reading. I just want to say that, like, the intuition part is, we think Tony Busby is talking about Jay-Z. Okay, that's intuitive.
But you know, come on, say.
But the rest of it, when they be like, oh God, how people coming? Because people can read.
No, Sid.
I
think. Hold on, Sid.
No. I'm just saying, like, what we're talking about. It's kind of like how people like, damn, why people talking about this? Nas said it when y'all got into a battle. When one half of Mobb Deep, Prodigy, got mad at you, he said some things. It's like, if you pay attention to hip hop music and you pay attention to the music and albums and you read articles, and it's like it really don't take that much. All anybody gotta do is read. Like, there's plenty of articles on Marc. There's plenty of articles on a lot of these people, whether even if it's not beyond even just the Daily Mail and just the Sun. If you're an avid reader, I mean, none of this stuff is like, you know, shocking.
I don't give them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give people credit in hip hop about nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No. What I'm saying, Prince, is
I
not
was just going
about.
to say, just to finish this part. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Sam. No, what I'm saying in general, though, you got to think about, like, there's one time to get something straight, Sam. You get what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, again.
No, what I'm saying about they think is about like being a mystery. Like some of the things, yes, that's why I said like even being able to like we think Cassie is getting information on Diddy. Like yeah, these are the things that like 99% of the platforms don't do, although some of them are trying to do it now. But the main meat of it though is just reading though. That's the point. Like if you read on the background stories of these billionaires and stuff, they always talk about their plays because they just think everybody else at the bottom is dumb. It's kind of like when the guy from Campbell's Soup, CEO, got in trouble because he just thought everyday people were just dumb. And he said, I'm not eating that shit. It's not even real meat. Or with Michael Rapino from Live Nation, he am joking about the poors and dummies that they're going to be paying for concert tickets, like if they want to be in the front row of the NBA watching a game. You know, a lot of these people are pretty damn arrogant, you know, so they literally a lot of times they'll talk about their plans. And also they forget that there are really brave employees out there. There are a lot of employees, you talk that type of shit around them, they're like, they're going to record you. They're going to like
I'm gonna be
come
blunt,
out to the
though,
public
Sam.
and say, yo, this is what they doing.
Yeah, but niggas in hip hop are stupid though. They genuinely are. You know, if somebody say, if you see something and it's been called, you know, hey, boom, 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 but your reaction is like, well, I'm going to get mad at y'all. I'm going to block y'all, and it's not going to happen, and it still happens. Now what? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to understand, like, that wherever fanaticism can be triggered, people's wisdom and intelligence goes down supremely. It don't matter if it was rock when they told them to burn up certain artists back in the 90s when they got, even when the moms come outside, moms against Teletubbies, you know? So, you know, it is what it is. You're going to see more of this footage. That's just going to be coming out on some of you all's favorites. You know, people are going to be incentivized to do it, especially since there isn't now an open scenario with Jay-Z, you know, Beyonce, Drake, Kendrick, Nicki, all of the big names. They, you know, we ran the list before. So, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised. But when I saw it and Sin sent me some more information about Marc, you know, I did look it up, and I said, that makes sense. I did remember when I saw the guy, I'm not trying to be funny, because the back of his head, the way his hairline was shaped, I said, you know, that guy looks familiar.
He do have a unique, ugly face. It's like a signature.
So I said, oh, that's the guy that remarried Debbie Rowe, you know, Michael Jackson's second wife and the mother of his children. So, you know, and again, like we brought up, you know, you had the guy in the suit. I don't know if you guys recall seeing it. I mean, you can barely find the footage now, but, you know, the guy, when Jay-Z was there on business to announce something, the guy turns to Jay-Z and starts making jokes about Beyonce, you know, and people's like, well, all right, whatever, man, bro. I mean, you know.
But even being open-minded to talk to different people, like a lot of the stuff we were ahead on, even in tech, you know, some of the things we read on, you know, the tech journals and science journals of where they were going with things. But also, you know, there was a black guy. He works in the tech industry, and he straight up told us everything that Peter Thiel and them were doing. He's like, he was worried because he knew they were coming for black people. And this is somebody, a black guy in tech, born in the United States of America, family been here for a very long time. But yeah, going back into this before we go into our last topic, which will be Doom and Tupac's trial.
Yeah, but you know, go ahead, Sid.
I think that people gotta, you know, just be just understand that people are trying to always take your attention away to other things. And like y'all said, like Metaphysics said, I understand that information on Beyonce and stuff isn't really that important for the everyday American, because if they're going to be reading on things, avid reader, they're going to be reading on policies and things that affect directly their life. This is why we like to talk about in entertainment the execs behind the scenes that are connected to all these celebrities, but also are affecting policy. You know, one of the example, like with Michael Rapino. how Live Nation was cutting out all the everyday independent venues. And if you're somebody trying to do a block party or you have your own venues and you're independent artists and all that, this can affect those everyday types of people. And I do think that's important, you know. This is why we try to connect the dots over there, because like what even Metaphysics said, yeah, if it was just about Beyonce or just about Drake or Kendrick, whatever, most of y'all outside of entertainment purposes, y'all like really wouldn't give a fuck. Like these are these people's personal lives and what they do. But Prince and I usually like to tell y'all how it also correlates directly into y'all lives, because these multi-billionaires and these monopoly men and women, they are not just in entertainment. They're directly trying to influence policies as well, when it comes to hoarding resources, harming y'all, and being in favor for themselves.
Yeah, so as far as the footage goes, I mean, you know, you guys can make your own deduction from there. However, whether you like Beyonce or you hate her, you know, that's what it is, all right? But expect to see more, at the very least, compromising footage and photos that will be hitting the internet, not just on Beyonce, but it's going to be a lot of the ones that are involved in this corporate sabotaging war, because it is, most of this shit is just corporate sabotage. It's corporate espionage. It's just celebrities' names are attached to it.
Things
It
gonna
said
come out on
Jay-Z,
Charlemagne too.
Beyonce, yeah, including Charlemagne. That's a big one. Y'all look
Things
out for
gonna
that
come
one.
out on Charlemagne, yeah.
So, you know, every time we say something like that, said,
It's gonna be on
All
both
right.
sides. Things are gonna come out on both sides.
look, it is what it is, folks, you know, and Sid and I, you know, we keep things moving. We've seen, you know, a lot of silliness early on, and we're telling you all, you know, just try not to get caught up in this entanglement or these mini entanglements that are going to be coming. You know, just at this point, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to what, you know, is going on in politics, and then I would just simply be an observer of, quote unquote, the culture as it stands right now, because it's going to get a lot messier, a lot nastier, you know, and because look, money is to be made and money is to be stripped too. You know, we got to stop some people from making money, and because we got to make money. I can't make money if you making money. You know, that is how it is, y'all. So it's just traditional tribalism, class warfare, all of these things, you know. And one of the things that Sid and I do find very interesting, because where politics, because the political aspect of where we are right now really influences things, because if the Democrats were a lot more robust and stronger and focused, you would actually see things kind of balance out a lot more. Not saying it's imbalanced now. I'm just saying for certain sides, you would see things be more balanced for them in hip hop today, because you can also have political dealings, and sometimes what some of the rappers do, especially when they get to a supreme corporate level, they will go into politics to stir up the culture of the general people. Because there are people, just like when we saw that last run of Black Lives Matter, folks, there were a lot of political activists who did not care about Drake, Kendrick, Jay-Z, anybody. They cared about what was going on in their community, or that at the very least, that's what was number one. And they listened to the music on the back end. And you had entertainers go into the BLM space, stir up some energy to seem more official to the general public.
And then leave.
After
they utilize the energy. But also, just to say the danger of this before we go to TUPAC trial, and then we'll end off with Doom. E. Dizzle says, someone said Drake leaked it, laughing my ass off. Here's also the danger of why I think it was a bad idea for these sides to get into this war with each other. And also the media wars we've been talking about in hip-hop for a really long time now. The sad thing is, because of the backers, they can instigate as much as they want now, because it's open. The train has left the station. So I'll give you an example. Usually peace treaties or communications usually fail because there's people who has an incentive to keep it going. So if a major corporation says, I want Jay-Z and Kendrick and Drake, I want this to keep going. This is money. This is good for media. this is good controversy. It builds up our equity. You're not going to get peace because even when they are, let's say, hypothetically thinking about it, maybe even trying to come to the table, you're going to have executives in the background. They can leak or do whatever to reignite it. Number one, there is no trust. So if there's no trust, there can't be peace. So, and the reason why this is important to understand, if I trust somebody I'm in competition with, if let's just say I just trust their traits that I believe they're going to really be about peace, then that's just what it's going to be. And then people will just move on. But when there is zero trust and there's also incentives to keep it going, well then, y'all already know what the answer to that is. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and and then you got to deal with the rogue dynamics. Is that most of the people are not going to get off of it because there's a built-in monetized audience there. So even if people do try to make peace somewhere, you guys have given the public blood. And the only reason why I'm making that statement, I do see a lot of people that speak for a celebrity, a rapper, a singer, and they get smart. They become smart asses with the general public without taking in cultural consequences or taking in cultural karma. You can't break blood off into the public's mouth, get them hyped up, and when they're working with their bloodlust, when it's working in your favor, you're cool on it. You're telling people folks are being too sensitive. They need to develop a backbone, this, that, and third. But eventually, when these people have a taste for blood, the circus, the crowd, the mob, how to move the mob, become the mob, when they have a taste for blood, they're going to have a taste for all flesh, all meat. And so then that's where you get into the space where people are saying, well, okay, we need to slow this down. And like Sin stated, you kind of already gotten everybody started. So even above corporate espionage, think tankers, people in the background, private backers, billionaires are in the room in this conversation too, folks, the ones you haven't even seen. There's a lot of billionaire-backed media right now because they're investing in the direction where they want to just go with media in general, whether it's politics or hip hop, because that is a crystal ball for the future. And so you're seeing a lot of that. And then you have people, they have been incentivized to lean into a type of algorithm too, on top of that. So yes, it's absolutely a lot more, as they say, nuanced than you can give it. And also here he is. This is the front face of him right now, Marc Scafo. Debbie Rowe engaged to Michael Jackson's executive producer, Marc Scafo. And so you guys can see that right there. That's what the guy looks like.
Also, this is why even in independent media and people who are not independent media, industry people in hip-hop media who are not independent, this is why you see this hyper competitive energy to the point of even stealing. People can't give credit. I mean, like, what are you being a weirdo for? But that's the energy right now. People being weirdos. People can't say, well, I came up with this particular angle, but it was started from this platform first. Or people, it's a lot of bizarre energy where the hyper competitive energy is really coming from, I want to really impress daddy. That's the energy that you're getting from people. I really want to impress Kendrick. So, let me try to think of some theories that would impress Kendrick by going after Drake or whoever, but the theories are watered down and they're dumb because you're being so aggressive with it. Okay, so let me just steal from someone who's not on nobody's side, who has some really strong, a strong theory, and let me try to do that to elevate myself because I want TDE and PG Lang and them to look like I'm a good boy, a good girl. Same thing with the Drake people. Let me prove to Drake, I'm really useful. Look at a theory I have on Jay-Z and on Rock Nation. Look at the theory I have on Kendrick Lamar. This is, going to make me look really well. And unfortunately, that is the hyper competitive energy that people have. They rather go out and try to look like they are the one while stepping on each other. And it's again, to me personally, it's pretty lame. You know, Prince and I, we always give credit on our platform for whoever comes up with whatever. You know, it's kind of like even when Night Night, he said that he said that Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick was going to get into it with each other at a time when we wasn't paying any attention. And we always gave Night Night credit on that because
his name is in some of our titles for live stream. We've put Night Night featuring Night Night or Theory by Night Night. We've put that in our title.
What do our ego have to do with anything? This is it's supposed to be a community. Like, why do we supposed to be like a king and queen? Try to act like we
come up with everything.
We brainiac. Everything comes from us.
Nah.
So you have that type of situation and that happening right now where people are being losers. And they're not saying, well, I got this from this platform, and because of that, it made me decide to go in this particular angle or that. This is why we shout out people all the time when they come up with a theory or whatever, no matter what the theory is or whoever it is, if it's a good one, you know, or they did an angle where they investigated something that we thought was very interesting. We give people credit because I'm like, who has time to try to be that? Because guess what? When you live on other people's work and you're trying to make yourself feel good about yourself and you're saying you're the only one coming up with things, well, when you don't have that resource of copying, then where does it leave you? People go look at your content like, damn, this guy ain't cooking like he was before.
Yeah.
He must have been copying off of somebody else's paper or a woman. And it's because they were.
Even if they can't put it together, you know, you copy, you know, people be like, bro, you fell off, or girl, you fell off. So, you know, it's more bullshit. You know, like I said, you know, people do all of that, but then they cry when somebody white do it to them. Shut up. Take it like you did it, like you gave it to everyone else. If you can dish it, you can take it. All right. As far as the Tupac dynamic, you know, on trial is Dwayne Keefe D, 63 years old, former leader of the Southside Compton Crips. All right. And it says here, at the time of Shakur's murder, the Crips were associated with then New York-based Bad Boys Record amid the hip-hop rivalry with the Los Angeles-based Death Row Records. Now, you guys know that, you know, M.O.B., Mob, Pyru, Suge Knight, all of that, the, you know, the Game, Kendrick, that, all that same square, right? Diddy was said to have had connections to the Southside Crips. You know, the story has been, you know, for those people that have been just extensively, I think Tupac might be, I could argue that, especially within hip hop, if not just in the music industry, I think Tupac's probably been the most, Tupac Biggie dynamics, their death, both of their deaths have been the most researched, investigated mysteries within hip hop, if not music, right? And so Davis is not accused of firing the shots that killed Shakur. Rather, prosecutors allege that he orchestrated the attack. He is charged with murder with a deadly weapon with an intent to promote, further, or assist a criminal gang. Someone, under Nevada's law, someone who aids or abets a crime or encourages, hires, commands, or otherwise introduces or induces another person to commit it. You know those songs where you hear all them rappers talking about my shooters, my shooters, my shooters, right? Under Nevada law, all right, you and your shooters can be prosecuted as a principal. Shakur's murder went unsolved for years, but it never faded from the public interest. In 2008, law enforcement interviewed Davis, but he made a proffer agreement that his defense says prevented his statements from later being used against him. In 2009, Davis published a memoir, Compton Street Legend. He gave multiple interviews promoting his book and the role of the Crips in Shakur's death. He described himself as one of the only living eyewitnesses to Tupac's murder. All right, minus Floyd Mayweather. But anyway, Tupac
That man trying to avoid this. You the only one keep mentioning him.
I'm gonna keep mentioning
that I know of.
Yeah, because he was running around saying, yeah, I saw it. Say, wait, what? Everybody like, bro, you saw it.
That's why celebrities get in trouble too. Just to say this,
Clout chasing too.
Yeah, famous people be loose lips all the time.
Yeah, I was there. I came out on my balcony, and I looked down and I heard do. Like, why? Y'all remember I said, why does Floyd keep saying this on podcast? Nobody's talking to Floyd Mayweather. All right. But anyway, Tupac was a guppy that got swallowed up by some ferocious sharks. Ooh! Davis wrote this in his book. Listen to what he said. Cause Davis, can we be honest about Keefy D? That nigga was a hater of Tupac. He was a hater. He said Tupac was a guppy that got swallowed up by some sharks, meaning he's the shark. Him and his boys, the Southside Crips, the Compton Crips, were the sharks. What did he say on Art of Dialogue? He was saying, yeah, y'all blow Pac up, but, he really didn't know what he was doing. And then what did y'all remember what Davis said in one of the interviews? He said, if you want to be real, Drake realer than Tupac. I said, bro, you really didn't like Tupac. But anyway, Davis wrote, he says, though he said he felt a deep sense of remorse for what happened. Now, this goes to what Sin said. Sin was like, man, you know what? Keefy D think like, bro, we could have let him live. We could have, because what did Davis say in the interview? He was like, really, the West been down since Tupac got killed. I said, excuse me, you mean since y'all killed Tupac? You in that Cadillac, that white Cadillac.
It was actually the East Coast and West Coast.
It was a collaborative effect.
Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
Because, you have so many broadcasters that are, even if they don't come from the West Coast or the East Coast, that be out and about. And none of them want to take accountability. Like, the West Coast be saying the East Coast be saying the West. Like, Jada Kids be quiet and says the West. But it's always collaborative. It's both. Because look at the East Coast. The East Coast have a lot of tycoons that end up getting in trouble. Russell Simmons, Diddy. Right now is, Jay-Z seemingly trying to avoid trouble. So he's, countersuing Tony Bugsby. Out in the West, they have the gang nations that be involved, whether they're talking about the Crips, the Bloods, whatever. You see how even, YG said Beam Team, A, Go, whatever, BCD with the whole Drake situation.
Why you sound like an episode of Cheer?
It does.
You talking about B Team, tap in. I said double Dutch niggas. The hell you mean tap in?
And their shit get into trouble because people think the West Coast industry, not the art scene, just the industry, is a bunch of people who are violent and they'll kill anybody at any time. They have no boundaries, and they have no civility. And then people think the East Coast is a bunch of money hungry scammers who they'll destroy any type of independent energy if it means for them to thrive on Wall Street and corporate energy. And these are the things that Jay-Z, Diddy, Russell Simmons, and even 50 Cent at times be accused of, even out there in Louisiana, where some of the natives in the hip hop scene are getting mad at him.
Look out, Hurricane Chris. 50 Cent ain't playing with you. Jokes.
Right. So it's really interesting to see those dynamics because those two coasts have also been tied up in the Tupac and Biggie situation as well.
Well, it also goes back to the history of both coasts. Both coasts have always been tied to the Jewish mafia, the Italian mafia, the Romanian, the Russian. It's always been tied to mafias. Even you have to include in Chicago as well. And then you have Chicago Italian mafia that go and set up camp in Louisiana, huge mafia state as well. It's not just the racist crackers that be out there. There's some other boys that be laying low in Florida, laying low in Louisiana, laying low in Texas. And the signatures that are tied to signing the death certificate of both Biggie and Tupac, it is bicoastal. Because there's an alleged East Coast kingpin that is tied into the death concerning Biggie Smalls as well. All right. And we're not just talking about simply Diddy. There is supposedly an East Coast kingpin that was tied into Biggie Smalls' death, just like you have calls, and even in our era, with rappers that got killed in the West Coast that were from the East, and calls were made from the East Coast.
Why do you think the South was able to take over after that? I mean, like the East Coast and the West Coast were the most popular scenes at one time.
That is true,
in hip hop. The South was able. It's not to say that Southern rappers don't end up getting murdered. We saw that with Mob. What's his name?
Mo 3.
Mo 3. And we saw that with Young Dolph in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
it goes back to Camouflage, Flage's father, who got killed in Savannah, Georgia.
So it happens.
Let's be
cut
friends.
The business structure of it was able to thrive very quickly after the whole Tupac and Biggie situation, because people were like, damn, them East Coast dudes from New York, like, they scamming.
Yeah.
You know, we like, remember, there's like a Southern rapper, he'll go and meet Russell Simmons, like, yo, this dude ain't shit.
Yeah.
Or then they'll, go in the West Coast Hollywood scene. They like, damn, everybody's cool on the East and the West. So
yeah, somebody I knew that met Russell Simmons, they said, man, I ain't going in that room with that nigga again.
Now, also, to be very clear, there are people in the industry who are anti-black in the South as well. We talk about, like, look at Boosie. But the whole point is, the infrastructure was the West, and the East had a lot of things on locked, and the Tupac and Biggie thing was just an extreme explosion.
Yes.
That opened up a lot. We have 2 super chats.
Shouts out to Victory Status. Says here, the Pixie Cut Mafia. 3-6 Mafia. All right. Shouts out to you.
Megan Thee Stallion cut does look nice, though.
Oh, yeah. Platinum blonde cuts. All right. We're going to see how the rollout goes. Also, shouts out to OC_RTR. Says here, New York, the land of the triple cross. You people, big facts. Yes, that is absolutely correct. And I want to bring up something here that JS brings up in the chat. He says here, did you guys know before he died, according to the paperwork, Biggie was pushing guns for La Costa Nostra? Listen, I want to say this very clear. I'll check out the paperwork. I did hear things about that me growing up, all right, because I was around people, and they talked about the dark side of what was going on with these polished images, right? But, to this point here, saying, look what Big U said on the podcast. And again, y'all can check out Al Prophet's channel. I think he does some of the best work in that space. Al Prophet talked about how.
Why he also sounds like he reminds me of the AI detective.
Oh yeah.
And what's the game? Fallout.
Yeah.
There's an AI detective in Fallout.
So
like
you see here what
Nick,
happens.
And he has a voice like that character.
And they tried to kill Nipsey Hussle here. Right. So Al Prophet, one of the things that he talked about in one of his videos, I think it was not too long ago, it talked about how the Mexican mafia was going to, quote unquote, put a stamp on Nipsey Hussle's head because on his tour bus, it was stated that Big U was trafficking guns and some other stuff as well.
The article even recently came out, said sex trafficking,
yes, and
drug trafficking, and gun trafficking, right?
Yeah.
The recent article.
Oh, yeah. And so now with Nipsey Hussle, because of his street affiliation and his street active energy, the people that we've spoken to directly said, no, Nipsey was very active before, even while he was popping, he was still doing things, right? But the other side is when y'all see some of y'all favorite rappers and they're not King Von and they're doing all this, I'm the realest nigga, the realest. A lot of times, boys and girls, they're glorified mules. Okay? They're glorified mules that some of their backyardians, all right, rest in peace to the creator, but some of their backers, the black financial backers, are moving weight through
Kim
them.
Kardashian. Wasn't it recently an article came out that, what was her line? It was Skims or something that was found, it was drug trafficking.
Yeah.
That recently came out.
Yeah.
And, and it be white, Armenian, black, Hispanic, boxer, dancer, actors, singer, rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Just so people don't, because we're black. So a lot of times we think about black spaces mostly.
Also, the rappers talk so much in the public's face about how real they are. That's why I said a lot of them that keep saying I'm the realest nigga, a lot of times they're they're glamorized mules. I mean, it's
Well-
just what it is. You know, it happens in all aspects of entertainment.
That's why Malone, with where he comes in, he's like, these artists are rapping my life. So he says, I feel good, you know, because he talks about power. He's talking about that, you know what, street stuff. But getting back into it, yeah, a lot of them do be the face of whatever's being pushed. Look at Diddy.
Yes.
Diddy was a gangster, an alleged trafficker, this, that. He was an all-in-one. A pink cocaine manager. And all
Nigga
this
was
other
a
stuff.
Swiss Army knife for criminals.
Yes.
That's what that nigga
That's
was.
why Bow Wow said he missed him.
Taking and
You
Bow
know,
Wow taking blunts out of grown men's mouth.
If you are an artist who's an addict, and you could go to, allegedly, this is all alleged.
Diddy, help me.
Yeah, like he's like, yo, Diddy,
Save me.
I
I
don't
need
want-
a loan.
you at the party, Diddy, you know, I need that good stuff, bro. You got me.
Man, put your Tootsie Roll up. I didn't come here for that.
He probably say suck the Tootsie Roll, and
No,
then
man, I just need a loan.
I got some stuff for you in the back.
Damn, okay. I'll just do it this one time, but don't tell my girl.
So it's access. Diddy is a safe, allegedly, and this is all alleged. Diddy is a safe haven to be able to get your stuff without getting arrested. Now you may get filmed on tape, but for now, you're good.
Well, people could also let's talk about the other side of Diddy. Let's say you are on Diddy's good side, because we'll try the other dynamic for y'all to get this. If you got real official hitters in the streets that they said, bro, there's a green light on your head, you know what you better do, right? What you gonna do? You gonna reach out to the Harlem Scorpio. Hey, yo, Diddy, man. Yo, these niggas looking for me. Don't worry, bro. I got you. Hey, man, y'all fall back on my boy. That's my nigga. All right, Diddy. You get what I'm saying? And who else did that recently?
Joe Budden, when he said Diddy gonna take care of it. Remember back? Oh, just to say that back then, you know.
There was somebody else saying. I think it was Birdman. Birdman made a call on the behalf of somebody. Somebody was looking to put somebody in the coffin. Birdman said, whatever the debt is, I'll double it. Just leave him alone. Diddy did make those calls for people, allegedly, they were on the positive side of Diddy.
Or the negative side.
You get what I'm saying?
Y'all saw the game and Drake video we did. Allegedly, he can make calls on the opposite end too.
Yes.
You know,
he
that
said he was a king of the East,
also
king of the West,
Diddy,
and king of the South.
Diddy is now countersuing Lil Rod.
What Lil Rod got? The Rod got any money?
He countersuing Lil Rod now.
Oh, because of the footage.
And some other
Yeah,
things.
some
He's
stolen
saying,
footage.
And he said from the Netflix documentary. That
Yeah.
With 50 Cent. So Diddy is countersuing now.
Okay.
Lil Rod.
Man, now does Lil Rod got that Burrell? All right.
I don't know.
Also, I want to bring something up real quick, because Sin and I, we talked about this, and Sin, this is going to coincide to that, and then we're going to go into the new Doomsday trailer, which I think is a much better cut trailer. And I was like, bro, I'm not feeling that first trailer, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, the film could still be ass. They could have just cut a better trailer.
Well,
But,
also, we need to talk about a lot of the fans are coming up with some dope theories. They saying they feel they feel that Disney and Marvel
You're one sentence away from launching your website with a base.
trying to trick people.
Right. Sorry about that,
you-
y'all.
that-
Stupid ad came up.
You think it's just Doom, Iron Man Doom, but they said they feel there's multiple Dooms, and then eventually it's going to turn into one Doom, and then there's going to be people who are the other Dooms that are following the main Doom. But they're saying fans are online feel that there's a theory that Marvel's trying to pump fake. And looking at it, it could be true.
It better be. Because if it's just Robert Downey, I'm telling y'all, people ain't going to see the next one.
It don't feel like it. I feel like there's actually a couple more Dooms.
Also, just to say this real quick, Sin and I, we had uploaded this video about the dark side, the dark story behind the Game and Drake 100 video. Now, again, with Sin and I, what I break down in this video here is the bigger story that was attached to the 100 video was actually, what happened in December of 2014, which was Diddy and Drake got into a fight. Now, who cares about how you view Drake if you think he's goofy or not? He's still tied to official people, and Jay Prince.
Even when Diddy got mad at Kendrick for control.
Yeah, and so specifically here with Diddy and Drake, they got into it, and then Jay Prince came outside. In this video, we break down one of the things that Game was looking to do, and as a quote-unquote a sign of appreciation, Game is able to get the Drake feature, the 100 joint. He comes to Compton, he films the video with the Game, but on the back end there was stuff being moved around concerning whether or not that there was going to be some issues behind the scenes, because Diddy had lost his temper and put his hands on Drake around that time. And Jay Prince was saying, you can go beat up any other rapper all you want. That's one guy you don't touch. That's our moneymaker.
They allegedly, Diddy, he got a temper on him.
Yeah.
He put hands on men and women. You saw him putting hands on Cassie, kicking her in her gut.
Yeah.
And wiping her across the hotel floor. And it is very interesting because a lot of hip hop commentary, when they're talking about different stories, they keep forgetting about talking about Diddy. Diddy was very, very much important when it comes to talking about the 100 video.
Very important.
Between Drake and the Game. But he's also, Diddy is involved with a lot of stories in hip hop.
Well, that's
past
why,
and present.
That's why I think it's interesting. The reason why, and to Sid's point, now, the 100 video is way bigger than just simply Game and Kendrick's relationship not being the same anymore. All right? It does involve Kendrick. It involves the Game. It involves Drake, and it involves Diddy. That is a big component of that fucking video and the drama that went on afterwards. Cindy and I, we talked about this before, but again, if you are, I'm going to put the video in the chat so y'all can go and check it out if you hadn't seen it, because sometimes I know notifications are what they are, but Cindy and I, we talked about this before. We covered this around that time.
Another thing, though, is Damn came out around 2017, and the Game and Kendrick was showing love to each other in 2017, so people overlook that.
Yeah, because Game had Kendrick on Jesus Peace album, which comes after the documentary too.
Yeah, so
it's not like they didn't fuck with each other anymore right after the 100
at
video
least not
shit.
on a business angle.
Yeah, I mean, he signed off on a nigga to still use his verses.
That's the weird thing about it. People keep saying Kendrick was so hurt about 100. He could have been, but why the fuck you still doing music with the nigga?
Yeah, so
and also Game and Kendrick have been hugged up in photos in 2017 and 18 as well. So it does create like
it's because people, see, you and I, we talked about this. People in hip hop, especially on visible platforms, they all are finding ways to talk around Diddy. How do you talk about the 100 video shoot in Game's verse without Diddy?
Which is fine if people want to do that, but also to add to the point, Diddy was angry at Drake, Kendrick, and at J. Cole at one time. So he put hands on Cole. There's so many stories all over the place. Some people say Cole whooped Diddy ass. Some people say it was even. Mac Wop said that Diddy thong popped out in the back of his ass. Then there's the Drake one, the contract hit out on Drake, the fighting Drake at the club. And then there's one on Kendrick where people try to overlook this too. No, Diddy wasn't just irritated with Kendrick. When Kendrick said he was the king of both coasts, Diddy said, who the fuck you think you are?
He said, I'm the offspring of Makaveli.
Yeah.
I'm the king of the East. I'm the king of the West.
And Diddy said, you don't run the East Coast. That's what Diddy said.
And remember,
Diddy also went further. He said, not only don't you run the East Coast, he said, I run the East Coast and the West. That's what Diddy said when he went on his tantrum.
Yeah, he was sitting down with old boy from QC. And the reason why I'm just saying is, I want to go back to something you brought up. It's fine that y'all talk about it, or you don't want to talk about it, but you also can't be you're not going to be able to be controlling of a particular narrative, folks. Game said that Diddy put a hit out on him. Diddy allegedly tried to have Drake killed. This is before 2024. This is why Sid and I, we say, like, this whole Big Three conversation, people are actually making it a lot less interesting right now. It was actually, there were so many side stories, side characters, especially where all three of the guys were vying and asserting themselves culturally to becoming the alphas in their own spaces, respectfully. But where people are flatlining things, Diddy didn't have an issue with everybody.
Right.
Diddy had an issue. That's why I said.
He had an issue with everyone.
That's why I said.
At some point.
Yeah, that's what I said. My point is, for somebody to have as much of a pronouncing effect on the millennial blog era class, a lot of people, like, you're narrating these stories in hip hop with a grand vacuum in the room, which is Diddy.
Which was stand-up. They're viewing it based off stand-up, but just to go back to your point, it is interesting because people just talk about Diddy and Drake, Diddy and Kendrick,
yeah,
Diddy and Cole, but they're not talking about elaborating on it. Like,
bro, he's a big part of it.
Diddy is supposed to be one of the godfathers of hip hop in the Black Mafia angle.
Yes.
So he allegedly threatened Drake.
Right.
He threatened Cole, and he also threatened Kendrick. But all three had power behind them. Drake was backed by Jay Prince.
Yes.
You know, and also Birdman and people who can make calls like Jay Prince publicly did. He made a call and talked to the Breakfast Club. Cole had Jay-Z behind him. You know, whatever he feel about Jay-Z, whatever, Jay-Z was, his energy was the one protecting him, because Jay-Z protected, allegedly, you know, Cole in the situation with Diddy. And then with Kendrick has Top Dog and the rest of them, and whoever else is behind the scenes, Dr. Dre. But the people who did not have those type of backing,
hung out them windows
from the industry, they allegedly got bullied and trampled over by Diddy in the industry.
That's all. You know, people can say whatever they want, but I'm just telling you, Sin and I was there. We even say, hey man, like, yo, Diddy getting into it with a lot of people from the new class, you know? And so, you know, this was talked about. Like, think about this. I'll just say this, and then we're going to transition to Doom here. I think it's interesting how active Diddy was. And if you say publicly that there is a contract on several famous people's heads, right? And this comes from a person who was suspected of putting a contract on probably the biggest rapper of all time, Tupac, right? You know, I think that's something to kind of look into. You know, I wouldn't really, through fandom, always try to just be so fixated on a story or try to be possessive of a storyline, which it's cool if you want to talk about it from that angle, but to be so gripping or grippy, like J. Cole's fantastic verse was, not. But to be in that, like, that mindset, this is where Sin and I usually step into the room, just kind of offer some clarity, because there was people, they was like, oh, how come I never heard about this? And then people like, oh, I forgot about this. Like, Diddy was cutting up around this time.
Because people in the industry are also skipping over the story. It's kind of like when Quentin Miller said, well, Drake and Meek Mill didn't tell the whole truth.
Right, yeah, he did say that.
What took place with his situation on If You're Reading This Is Too Late.
Right.
And he said he was hurt that both Drake and Meek Mill made amends with each other.
They did.
He got cut out completely
of a career.
But he said they got into a beef and he got dragged into it, but he didn't initiate it. And he said both Drake team and Meek Mill team lied about the situation. Of course, wasn't there, but that's what Quentin Miller says, right? Then in the situation with all this stuff, you know, Cole said what happened with Diddy it didn't happen exactly the way Punch said it, or even when you have Big Sean said he talked to Dave Free or he talked to this guy, and they made it seem like Kendrick never had a diss record on him, but then he did. Or when people on Big Sean team said Big Sean didn't care about the control verse, he's very calm about it. Mm-hmm. But then Big Sean said eventually it showed that he did care about the controversy, and it irritated him because he's like, oh, Kendrick just getting the attention because the features all dissing.
Because he was on a plane with Punch, and he said that Punch told him that there's nothing going on.
So I think like it's been already proven by consistency that people even close to the matter, they're not going to tell the complete truth because they're close to the matter. And so we don't probably maybe never going to know the whole truth as to why certain people get into beefs with each other or, what took place. Just like people don't want to tell the complete truth. Did J. Cole whoop Diddy ass or not? Why was Diddy so hung up on being angry even with Kendrick about the controversy? Why is Diddy is 0 to 100 enough for Diddy to get upset and put a alleged contract hit out on Drake? Who knows?
That's crazy though. Just even the fact that those are questions.
I know.
That's the thing I'm saying is like, you're not even having the inquisitive nature, because y'all know the inquisitive nature is very important in hip hop as well. I mean, hell, even it originally with, Public Enemy and early Ice Cube, they came out questioning the government, the status quo. People don't really ask that many questions in hip hop anymore. It's kind of go along, get along, and pick a side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's concerning the dynamics that's been going on, tying in with Diddy and, of course, Tupac, the Tupac trial. Keefe D is being seen as the one who has orchestrated and arranged the event. And again, he's the last remaining surviving member of the 4 men that was in that car that night, that Cadillac that pulled up on the side of Suge and Pac's, I believe, BMW at that time. And I think they fired 13 to 14 shots, if I recall correctly. I think Tupac might have got hit 7 times or something like that. And I think he was on life support or breathing apparatus for 7 days. And I think he died on Friday the 13th, 1996. And, it became this big thing. There was an open gang war of retaliation in L.A. There was a big shootout. But also, one could argue certain important key figures, especially that was tied to Los Angeles Police Department, they were knocked off because maybe they knew too much.
Well, it also makes me think, like, people also saying the East Coast tycoons don't pay. People said Diddy don't pay. They saying, what's his name?
Who's that?
Out there in Atlanta right now. Ray Daniels claiming that Rock Nation.
Oh, yeah, Ray Daniels.
Jay-Z don't pay.
Yeah.
And then, people were saying that, Russell Simmons didn't pay and all that. They will always call them, like, cheap.
So they said black people don't tip.
The black labor, I don't know about that. They was just saying, which I thought was interesting and going into the whole scamming thing. And I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem, Ziontific Mystic. During that fallout when Tupac gets killed, there's a several shootouts that take place. I believe either 7 to 9 or 7 to 13 individuals were killed. But a couple of them, or a handful of them, were police officers that moonlighted as death row security. So I believe those after murders, including leading all the way up to Biggie and a few individuals after Biggie's death, I actually think at that point in time, those were cleanup operations. That's what I think those are cleanup operations. I don't know how much more, Sin, just to be real with you, I don't know what any more detail we're going to get out of Keefe D, since he appeared to be a hired gun with a lot of power in the streets, but on the low end of the operation.
He ought to just going to die by himself, everything being put on him, or he's going to tell on everyone. But the thing is, will people care enough for them to listen? He already blamed Reggie Wright. Reggie Wright said, no, it was Keefe D who came up with everything. Everybody know Keefe D is not smart enough to come up with everything. He wasn't. Here's the thing, like Prince and I said before, if he was intelligent enough to come up with this elaborate plan to kill Tupac, then he wouldn't have been broke and bald. Like, he would have some fucking money. So obviously he ain't that intelligent in that space. But Reggie Wright though still made us laugh because for him it's get back. Yeah. Because Keefe D said if he go down, he was going to try to drag.
That's old Uncle Beef right there.
Right, Reggie Wright. And Reggie Wright said,
I never liked you.
He said, you know what? And to come to think about it, Yeah, it was Keefe D who came up.
Oh my goodness, yo, Reggie, right, man, a demonic troll, bro. Demonic. We've been watching Reggie for a long time. Like this nigga's demonic. But so is Keefe D.
Keefe D
He
is
talking
too.
about Tupac breakdancing in the front. I said, dude, these niggas are definitely demonic. But I'll just put this out here too. To your point, saying, listen to even how Keefe D said how they were able to find Tupac. It's because Tupac popularity, girls were screaming Tupac. He said they have been looking for Tupac up and down Flamingo and Kosovo, and that they heard somebody scream Tupac, and then they saw the car. They saw Tupac hanging out the window, waving at all the girls, and then that's how they would find him. So it wasn't like he said we were tracking Tupac for 5 months, him and Suge's whereabouts, and we positioned ourselves here. If you listen to how they shot Suge and Tupac, it really wasn't all of that intricate. It's just that we got the fight happened, or the arrangement allegedly of the detail to set up, and then we were supposed to finish him off to have it tied to the casino thing. And I know some people say, hey, it's so simple in hip hop that it could be something as simple as Keefe D and the boys was getting get back because they said Orlando Anderson, who was known to have had bodies in the streets, and Tupac didn't know who the guy was. He couldn't identify him, and he didn't know. Allegedly, he was putting his hands on a real certified killer from the Southside Crips. They said that, Orlando couldn't return back to his hood and be known like, bro, you let a rapper stump you out, so they say you got to handle this business. This is what Keefe D have been alleging. So there are a lot of interesting details tied to that. I do believe, at the very least, I've seen Gene Deal have a very consistent hold of his story. Kirk Burroughs has come out and said some things. It's clearly funny operations with Diddy, but just even the idea of Diddy having that over his head that you may have contracted a hit on Suge and Tupac is just that Suge Knight had survived. And remember, and I'll just say this, Suge no longer had the influence over mainstream media in the manner that Diddy did after Biggie's death, because Diddy, he played the game much better than Suge. I got to give it to Diddy. He played the Warren Buffett, I'm the guy of peace. I made peace with Snoop Dogg on the Steve Harvey show. He goes on to the Faith song, I'll Be Missing You, has this grand legendary MTV performance. He goes around and says, I just want peace for everybody.
But he also had Clive Davis.
Great point, Sin.
That's what
Clive
it was really
Davis.
about. Yeah.
Yes. Clive Davis in the background was doing a lot of great positive spin work for his sugar baby.
Yeah. It was really because of the white guys and Jewish guys and Italian guys in the back. They were cleaning everything up for the guys
that they were going to roll with.
And it's interesting, some of the same figureheads in energy are still causing chaos in hip hop decades later.
But to have that, Sin, right, like you stated, and shouts out to American Tradesman, he says, yeah, Reggie do be lying. Yeah, but look, here's the thing. To have that on your resume, Clive Davis in the background, again, a titan of industry. All of the guys that were titan of industries, whether they were Ted Fields, Jimmy Iovine, they stepped away from Suge. Get out of here. You're a liability at this point, right? But people were still invested in Diddy. Diddy went on to have his run with bad rap music himself. He had Mace. Remember, he was still making money. Snoop Dogg leaves Death Row Records. He goes down south with Master P. Master P puts him on game of how to brand yourself the right way and get all of your money. Suge Knight didn't have no Mace type situation on Death Row Record. Plus, he got sent to prison. So he was already out. Diddy was still showing himself to the higher ups. I can still find new talent. Look, this guy Mace, he's real hot right now. We got some other guys. I can still touch the R&B lane. So, of course, they was going to make sure they put interest in behind Diddy. And Snoop Dogg was able to, quote unquote, remove himself from the toxicity of Death Row Records. And he's out here doing his own thing. And he goes into film, media, cereals, and snack chips and things like that. So, but to have that all tied to Diddy, and then he comes in where the millennial guys are with Kendrick, Wale, J. Cole, and Drake, and some of these people are alleged to have had contracts put on them. I just think that's crazy. That's some
why,
crazy shit.
Drake, Kendrick, all that stuff, it was never going to work out anyway.
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
Again, just so we can say it before we end off with Dr. Doom. It's not even about Kendrick and Drake being saints. It's the simple fact that the same energy that was all about beef and drama with Tupac and Biggie are some of the same people.
They're in the room now.
Who are in the room now with the same amount of drama. They're not gone. I do want people to think about that.
They're here.
Let that marinate a little bit. Don't skip past that.
Don't skip past that.
The same people that was all about all this drama back then are some of the same people still around today
in the room,
evoking the same amount of drama, but with the new kids on the block
and the new podcasters on the block.
And think about the West Coast and East Coast underworld both agreed to free Diddy.
There you go, free Diddy. All right, that's what the niggas are saying. And Diddy could still be outside, you know. Look, folks, it's a real dirty game out there. All right, so I would pay attention to a lot of that stuff, you know. I will say, last subject here, Doom. All right, the Doom variant too. You know, they're saying that there are a lot of Doom variants that may take place. They got homeboy from Oppenheimer. They're saying that he's
Oppenheimer.
Now, I will say this. Robert Downey Jr.'s voice as this quote-unquote variant of Doom, I thought it sounded very good.
If it is him. Whoever it is, we don't know who the fuck in that trailer.
Guy. Come on, Sam, stop it now. We ain't going to be that mysterious, Sam. That's that guy. Come on now. That's that wigger. All right, that was him. But no, you funny for that one, Sam. Yeah, I thought the trailer was cut much better. I ain't gonna lie though, you know, everybody complain about how they kind of play with Hulk, but I'm like, bro, who can Thor's hammer beat?
First of all, Thor's a bum.
Yeah, like Thor.
Yo, I'm saying like
I don't throwing his ass around. I'm like, bro, dog, who can you beat with this hammer?
All, I'm tired of Thor. Thor is just at this point, he the new Cyclops of the film.
Yeah.
He don't come in, he don't do shit but get his ass beat all the fucking time.
Yeah, what's up with that? Y'all notice that like Thor can't overcome nobody.
Like a thunder god who's useless.
Yeah, like bro, like and he took your hammer.
Hammer get broken, hammer gets stolen. Hammer goes to someone else. The thunder, lightning, all this shit. I mean, I don't even see at this point. I'm just talking about in the films.
It's the haircut,
and he got some of the weakest films too.
Yeah,
It goes from okay to trash. The Thor films, okay to trash is like the level. I think the second or third one, the third one may have been the best one, but something like that. And it's like, I mean, what do y'all think in the chat about it? I just think like Thor is just a fucking joke. He always be like, yeah, and I'm going to end you. And the same, if you notice, it's the same pattern in the fucking film.
Oh, my hammer.
And it's getting boring. How many times we got to fucking see this guy get beat up?
His dialogue it's been terrible. And I swear by the moons and the stars that you will answer to me when you go to hell.
Shut up. And then we see him get beat up. Yes, Ragnarok was the best one. That one was the best one. Yeah. I give that one a strong B+. But
what did
all Thanos, the other Thor films were ass.
What did Thanos, a.k.a. the molded dill pickle, say to him? You should have aimed for the head, right? So I'm not going to lie to you. That was very distracting. And I'm like, you know what, Thor? I don't think we need you at the front of this one here.
Mr. said it's called bad skilling in writing. It's very bad skilling in writing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very bad. It's like, it's pretty.
I'm going to send you to hell. And he says, hell answers to me. Say, bro, ain't they giving him the better line? I'm just saying, look, I actually figured it out. Two things, you know what's saying, when I saw the new trailer, everything was perfect. I said, oh, That's why I didn't want to see it. Thor was in the first trailer, and I'm tired of seeing Thor.
At this point,
I'm tired of seeing this version of Thor.
If I'm a top tier villain, I wouldn't give a fuck about Thor.
Don't care about him.
Or like they said, the Hulk too. They made the Hulk a dumb bitch as well. He can't do shit. It's a dumb green thing just jumping everywhere on the fucking screen.
He ain't been same since he been throat punched.
Who has he taken out?
Nobody. Y'all remember when Thanos throat punched Hulk? I burst out laughing. I know this is fucked up, but yeah, I gotta say that was my favorite scene in the movie when Thanos throat punched that nigga.
Right. It'd be funny because they souped up some of the other heroes and depowered many of the other ones.
Yeah, because I realize what it is for me. I say it's Thor. He's very annoying to me right now because it's like, bro, what is all, and then you doing all of this lightning and thundering.
What? They turned Thor and Hulk into bros. They're bros. Don't get me wrong. Thor, even in the comic books, is dumb. But he has a lot more. When he gets serious, he's way more ferocious. Here, he's like dumb without the teeth, without the danger.
And I tell you, when I strike you, you caught my hammer.
And they might as well just they might as well just have the Hulk and Thor be at a pub at this point.
Yeah, because I'm like, bro, why is Thor so weak? Like, why is Thor? Who's going to be Storm? Oh,
we're going to be talking about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I think the actress that they chose for Storm is a good.
She has gravitas. She has gravitas.
She looks like a good pick.
Sorry, Alexandria Shipp. And what's the other girl? Zane Beats from Atlanta. She said she couldn't play Storm. I said, you're right, you can't. You're not going to play.
Can you pull up the new Storm real quick for them? This is something we're going to go in a little bit more tomorrow.
Not before I lift my hammer. I'm just sorry, y'all. And I realized that I said, you know what? This is a better cut trailer, but Thor still is aggravating me.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Maya Boyd. Yes. Maya Boyd as the new Storm. I haven't seen much of her work. I did hear her sing. I saw some clips of her on Broadway.
And she could sing.
All right,
but let's pull her up so people can see.
She is the new Storm, who's probably definitely going to be more powerful than Thor. My hammer. We probably going to see a scene with Storm tossing Thor around.
Thor is a bum. He's a fucking bum.
He's a bum? You call Thor a bum?
But, they be trying to make sometimes play black characters down, too, so I feel like it's good. Turn Thor into a bum. Good.
Yeah, because he might as well be Static Shock now. All right, will this be the Doom that swaps with Iron Man? I've heard that they have that story arc in here, but they tweaked it. That's what I heard.
The trailer did make me laugh though when Doom said, "Fake lives."
So he's been watching them the whole time.
He's basically going to his old spiel that you took away other people's timelines for them to be happy, so you could be happy. Y'all are not heroes. And I will be honest with y'all. Based off of the films, the Marvel and Disney films, how they orchestrated things, I will have to be honest, a lot of the heroes look like villains. Because technically that is what they're doing. They hide behind, I'm doing it for the world. And I would say to give, I'll give Spider-Man some credit, at least, and he's the youngest of them all. At least he said, look, I give up my own happiness to make society happy. So I give it to him for his character. But the rest of them, they're fucking villains too. Like, bro, stop, cut the cat. You don't really trying to save society. You trying to save your own fucking family. You're just as selfish as the villains, and I get it. Just call it how it really is. Y'all care about you and yours. Captain America fucked up the timeline. He going back in time to have fucking kids and shit. So basically, when the trailer, he was like, stolen lives. I was like,
you know what made me laugh?
I was like, you know what? Fair.
You remember when Thanos said, you all cheated. That made me laugh. He's like, man, I had a little bit more respect for y'all. And also when, at least when Robert Downey Jr. voicing Victor Von Doom when he was talking about saying like you said stolen lives. I was expecting for him to say reparations. It sounded like a reparation talk.
No,
it sound like Doom about to pass a reparation bill.
I mean, what's interesting is, at the beginning, people they're rooting for the heroes, but I would say at this stage of the films and the TV series, I'm like, it's equal.
Yeah.
The villains and the heroes are just the same to me.
It's gangs.
Yes.
It's just gangs now.
It's gangs. And then some of them, first of all, B More doesn't like Professor Xavier because
he is dislikable though. Nah, the motherfucker is dislikable. We got to keep it real. Because Professor Xavier is a very dislikable. Seem like
he's just trying to
He's a manipulator.
He's just trying to help.
He's a master manipulator.
Kids, but he actually grooming them for war.
He a master manipulator.
And don't get me wrong, I get Professor Xavier what he's trying to do because I'm
trying to help you.
He's like, the government is at war with us. If I don't have the kids get ready for war, they're going to be kidnapping the kids with the Sentinels and
Gene, if I don't groom the children mutant, who will?
But the problem is he makes people think that they're just going to a school just to learn their power so they can go into society, but they really going for war.
You saw he had all them trap doors inside of Gene's head. That's pimping.
And then also going back to the heroes, Iron Man has been selfish. Captain America has been fucking selfish. Thor, a dumb jock. I don't even know what the fuck he was doing even in the fucking films outside of Ragnarok being a good one, but he ain't doing shit. Hulk just going around being dumb, floating in space.
Oh yeah, shouts out to who said it in the chat. They said Hulk is flubber with muscles.
He is. He ain't doing shit. He floating around in space getting his ass kicked.
He's showing up to different shows.
On Earth not doing anything. And I'm going to be honest, how they did the films, it's really they making in the films Spider-Man do all the real work. Doctor Strange slow. Why would you do anything with this young person? Bro, go back on your fucking post and do your fucking job. Then they act like Scarlet Witch wasn't already mentally ill. I don't know why they ever thought they could trust her. They're stupid there. So just how the films are going, I just think they all deserve each other, the villains and the heroes. I just want to see good action, good dialogue, and that's about it.
Well, I tell you this though, I will say Doom's costume looks very nice.
It looks cool.
It looks clean. The best part of that trailer is when he woke them Sentinels up.
That was nice.
That shit was fire. I said, man, and them the bootleg Sentinels. I said, man, he about to fuck y'all up with leftover parts. We talking about junkyard part Sentinels. This ain't even the new Doge-approved Sentinels.
Well, because of Days of Future Past and all that, this Doom story, what King was supposed to do, he's going to tie in all the universes, and then through this story, they're going to finalize it and have it be more organized.
Let's get rid of the multiverse because it's been a lazy hack for writers. I'm tired of the multiverse. No, I am.
Well, this one is going to be a part of the multiverse as well, but it's also going to be a part of whatever is going to be the outcome of Doom. It's going to be a timeline that's going to be agreed upon.
Do y'all think Jonathan Majors is one of the Doom variants?
They're not going to do that.
All right. So
he wouldn't be over there with Ben Shapiro if that was the case.
That trailer looked dumb. That was a dumb looking trailer, man. So that didn't make no sense.
Yeah. So I think Jonathan Majors is out.
Of course he's out. Yeah, of course he's out because and that whole situation. Now again, you don't know what goes on with what because Sid and I, we was reading reports that they wanted to go in a different direction anyway.
Well, I think, and I'm not going on a canon on the comic books because if you go on the comic book canons, it's going to be different from the film. So I'm going with the film canon here. Thanos gave them a point that they didn't listen to, and this is why they're just as much as a villain as Thanos. Thanos told them, yeah, he's vying for power, but he also told them, look, people pick who dies and who lives. It happens all the time. Y'all guys do it too. They were saying, no, we don't.
No.
We're the good guys, bro. Man, shut your purple dumb ass up, right?
You heard of.
You're the villain. We're not. We're heroes.
We're better than you.
That whole arrogance, we're better than you.
We're
type
better
of
than
bullshit,
you.
Right. Only.
Captain America said, I voted for Obama. I'm better than you.
Right.
I can never be you.
Only for it to come out that you are doing literally the same shit that Thanos did. And by doing so, now in this Doom story, he's talking about fake lives, you know, stolen lives. Because when you tamper with when they're talking about when you're tampering with time and you're talking about the multiverse, guess what? There's no utopia. It don't fucking exist. You're fucking up somebody's life somewhere in the universe by your actions. You crying saying it's just the villains. No, y'all dumbasses are doing it too. Somebody in one universe, they had a happy life, husband, kids, or wife and kids living the good life. You fucked up the timeline. Somebody got killed. Or they never met the love of their fucking lives, or they don't have no fucking kids, but they feel like something is missing.
So you can run off
but they can't put their finger on what it is.
So you can run off with your gay Winter Soldier. I don't know what people. Captain America and Winter Soldier is clearly a gay story. I don't know what people are talking about. He got the asymmetrical cut.
Captain America bisexual.
Yeah, absolutely. The costume looks gay. And think what he did. He went against his homeboy for his man.
But you know what's interesting? In the multiverse.
Tony said, I thought we were friends. Not over my husband.
In the multiverse, they can still... Why the black characters still have to deal with racism? We got fucking aliens and everything. Mm-hmm. Wakanda still got to deal with racism.
Yeah.
The Captain America that they don't want to be Captain America, Falcon, still has to deal with racism. Everybody else, you don't even have in the stories people dealing with immigration and being harassed. It's just based off the multiverse. Except for the black people, they're the only fucking characters that still have to talk about fucking racism.
That's to get the blurs to talk on YouTube. How come we still dealing with racism, but we don't see ICE?
Right? They're trying to be which you're trying to stay true to the canons and all this. Falcon dealt with racism. Yeah, but the comic books also talked about immigration issues and stuff too. I don't see y'all having that shit there. No. Like you know, I bet it's not gonna be in the story like, you know, Doom or professors or stuff dealing with issues of their immigrant and how is that going for them, you know? Man,
listen, and you right, Scientific. Shouts out to you. Bro, when we watched the first old Superman with Christopher Reeves, there ain't nothing in there. It's just
even with the Asian
it's just somebody flying around. I'm not thinking about my black ass watching Superman getting fucked up by Nuclear Man.
But did you notice other groups who get discriminated against in the Marvel universe? Nothing. No one say I don't fuck with you because you Asian, or I don't believe you can have the power because you're Asian or Asian country. It's just always black.
Even with the Falcon, with Anthony Mackie, you know, I said, all right. I mean, the original storyline of the first Captain America, which was a very awarded book, you know. But realistically, man, come on.
Prince Chilson said even the underwater Mexicans didn't deal with racism.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
That is
the
true.
Quinceacoto niggas. Yeah.
That's true.
The fucking niggas kicking the ball in the hoop sideways. They ain't dealing with no racism.
Why all the First Nation, indigenous, immigrants, nothing, but the black people
with advanced technology.
Right. Everybody else, black Americans, the Africans, don't matter who it is. If they got dark skin and they're black, if racism is still talked about with them. Jesus. He said underwater.
This is what they telling the black Captain America when he about to go fight Doom 2. Now, I want you to understand this one, Wilson.
You're black.
You're black. And we're going into Doom's homeland. They may be racist. Man, shouts out to some of the black folks, but some of y'all might be a little too happy. Like, bro, I just want to watch some people fight. That's it. I don't care about all of this other stuff.
Well, but the whole thing is either you do it with all or do it with none.
They ain't gonna do it with all.
In the comic books, those things are talked about. Sometimes somebody.
No, it is. But on screen, movies, it's inconsistent though.
It's nobody else stuff is being talked about but the black ones.
Every time they bring up a black character, they got to go through a Rosa Parks scenario. You know, nobody, like with Namor, nobody said that there was an underwater ICE agency looking for them. Like, you didn't hear Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury talking about why you being a racist against Namor and his people.
Also, we have a super chat by
Ariel. Yo, Ariel Smoke, where you been at? Shouts out to Ariel Smoke.
He been working on his computer.
Shouts out to you. Ariel trying to beat them out there to get that RAM, too, that DDR. All right, shouts out to Ariel Smoke. He says here, I am interested. I rock with the villains that don't waste time on BS monologues and just go straight to stomping through the neighborhoods. Avengers are cooked. They are washed up, though.
They do look washed up.
They look tired.
That's why, you know what? And I think the studios know, let's erase the timelines. Yeah. Get this shit out the way. Start fresh with the young X-Men.
Yeah. No, yeah, for real, because, like, if you look at the Avengers, it's like they look tired right now.
They look busted up.
They do. They look like Mike Tyson out of shape.
You want to know why? Because they
look real tired.
They have controlling. They have control issues. So they're controlling. They think they're right all the time. They're moralists. They're goody two shoes, while enacting the same type of force as the villains they fight. It's crazy. And the fact that they have no humility, like the Captain America, the whole time, although Captain America, his films were pretty good, the whole time you was helping agencies that were beating up on Americans and destroying foreign governments, but you thought, I'm Captain America, I'm here to save the day.
Also, Ariel Smoke says here, Doom is Argentinian. Shouts out to you, man. We appreciate you. Yeah, no, they definitely gonna get their ass whooped. A nigga come in with a new uniform, and he's a scientist, engineer, and a mystic, occultic. So,
I do want to see them get beat up now. Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm tired of them.
The Sentinel scene was the dopest part, too.
Let's have some new heroes and see if they're going to be better than what we've gotten from the heroes on
I hope Doom also beats up Bryan Singer in the film. Get his ass, too. He the part of the problem of all this arrogance. Because Avengers do talk big shit to people.
Captain America was literally having hidden agencies use him as a dumbass puppet to destroy regular Americans who was getting experimented on and fucked over.
He didn't even say nothing about the first black Captain America.
Iron Man, dumbass, got whole countries destroyed with Ultron, getting people killed. Yeah. And man, bro, this is a theory. I think that that people theorized before on. It seems like the presence of the heroes bring more harm than good. Think about it. I mean, like, Loki, like, that's because you, Thor, you brought your broke ass to Earth. And so your half-brother, who is a villain, came over here messing with Earthlings because of you. You could have took your ass somewhere else. So, I mean, like, they the ones who are bringing the drama, if you really think about it, to regular people on Earth.
Also, Bisanita says here, I too, P. Solo, am sick of the MCU with the multiple timeline theories. I'm more interested in Marvel, celestial beings, cosmos, one above all hierarchy and other things. Yeah, great point. Yeah, absolutely. Shouts out to Ariel, says here, the Avengers are full of white progressives. Get them gone. He says, I really only like Tony and Black Panther. The rest are goofies.
No,
they do act like the progressives, man.
It was so, first of all, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman, who, to me, was the best hero, the actor who played the best rendition, because T'Challa actually, from how Chadwick played him and how they wrote him, he wasn't fucking up different timelines. He didn't fall for some of the background people. instigating. You know, he was actually one of the few consistent fucking heroes, you know. And unfortunately, you know, Chadwick Boseman, he died of cancer. But yeah, the majority of them are full of shit, man. The majority of them, they're just as bad as the villains. I actually want, when we go to the movie theater to see this, I just want to see them get beat up. I'm gonna be honest at this point. Just to see them get beat up at this point. She's siding with Doom, laughing out loud, misters. Let's see. We got ZN saying Chadwick's T'Challa was on point in Captain America Civil War. Yeah, he didn't fall for when Captain America and Iron Man was all fighting all this other stuff. He kept his eyes focused on what was taking place behind the scenes. He didn't even allow people to manipulate him through his emotions of his father being assassinated. You know? So, we'll see what's taking place. But I want to see the Avengers they get beat up. What about your last words on the Doom stuff, Prince?
Oh, it's reparations for all of the people over the years that had to waste their time with all of that bad programming on Disney Plus. Doom is everybody's reparations across all fanfare, you know. So I'm already gonna mess with it anyway because you know, he a mystic and a scientist anyway, and I already know they ain't got nothing for him. You know, Stretchy Armstrong ain't gonna be able to do anything. He gonna try to talk to that nigga. That nigga got that mask on. He don't hear shit you saying.
Also,
Pedro, and then we know Thor washed up anyway. We already seen his ass get beat in the trailer.
Victory said that the Avengers need TRT.
Yeah. Man, they full of it, like, you know, and they might as well go and get ready. Like Homegirl said, look, you know, Doom is broken. You know, he all over the place, but so are we. We fucked up too. So they sent us a fucked up villain, a very powerful one. So I'm definitely going to be interested. Now that I had a chance to see Robert or hear Robert Downey's voice, to see what accent or how he was going to deliver his lines, I thought it was slow, measured, and he sounded very sinister. Okay, that's another thing too. He sounded very sinister.
It's actually executed right
throughout the film.
Because I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel films in a long time because they were starting to get boring to me.
Yeah, I think after what was it? I think you and I really the last time we tapped in was the Avengers, some of the Spider-Man films.
Yes.
I didn't see the sequel to Black Panther. You know,
I did, and a lot of people didn't like it because of some of the stuff that was in it, and understandably.
Yeah, Sin did tell me about that, but you know, when I heard some of our people in the think tank, they, you know, I actually trust their cinema opinion, and they kind of said something. I said I had to check it out when it comes across my desk. I might, you know, have it play in the background while I'm editing something, but I'm not one of these people. I'm not saying that, you know, people are like, oh yeah, you know, everybody's just kind of growing out of it. No, it's just like we can tell, like, you know, it's kind of a little bit much. People have gotten a little irritated or tired, and instead of them saying like, okay, well, people are just tired of the films, the superhero subgenre, instead of actually writing a better film, because the Spider-Man movie just broke records. It's I think it's going to be the third highest grossing film of all time. So it's not just about people are tired of capes and costumes. That's not the case. If that's the case, people would be tired of unsolved mystery shows. That's not the case. It's just that there's very lazy writing and there's too much brand focus of trying to tie in the MCU. Because remember, it no longer became about the stories, whether it was the developing story of the first Iron Man film, which was the best Iron Man film. It became about marketing the MCU as a Nike swish symbol.
Also, Woke One said, Thought Crimes, how do you feel about the new Black Panther movie with the actor playing T'Challa's son? I think it's a good look because eventually they're going to tie in with Storm. Remember, Doom is a reset here.
Hard
and after
reset.
that is a hard reset. We're going to get the X-Men films. We're going to get the new Wakanda stuff. You know, so they're trying to phase out all the mistakes they made in the films while strengthening the things they did right in past films as well. Also, we have another super chat from Ariel.
Shouts out to Ariel Smoke. Ariel Smoke says here, at the very least, Tony wasn't on moral high ground like Captain Steroids. That's funny.
Superroids. No, you right on that
Captain
one.
Superroids. My bad. Captain Superroids. It says here, I don't think RDJ has ever played a true villain. I agree with you. I don't think he's ever played a true villain.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, he's played some miscreants now. He's played some raggedy people, but this will be the first time he's playing a true villain. So far, also Robert Downey Jr. is a strong salesman, number one. I think if he wasn't acting, I do believe he 100% would be in sales.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Iron Man be like, I fucked up.
Yeah, but he did
Captain
say,
America be like,
you fucked up. How you protect Winter Soldier and tell me I fucked up? That's why when Iron Man was fighting him,
he thought Iron Man was arrogant, but it's like, bro, did you look in the mirror? You're arrogant yourself.
Super arrogant with morality.
Oh, that's not the guy.
No. I know it's not the guy. The guy. I'm gonna put him up on screen. Here's the guy right here. This is the guy. Yeah, the actor. That just don't worry about that, y'all. Disregard that. But
he was a villain in Oppenheimer. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of people they're gonna be excited to see how he plays.
Oh, Tony Stark. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. said so far he's been enjoying saying. He said he's enjoyed playing Doom over Tony. So I guess it's a chance for him to break free. So David Johnson is the new Black Panther for the Black Panther series moving on forward. They're going to do a reset. You notice they're all hiring younger actors, so they're looking more than likely to have another 7 to, or at least 5 to 7 year run with these properties too, by the way, or 7 to 10 year run concerning the X-Men. They're going to try to get 10 years out of the X-Men, ladies and gentlemen. All right, boys and girls, we are done here today. We wrapped everything up. We love you guys so much. We appreciate you all joining us here on this wonderful Monday morning. We hope you guys feel at least a little bit better after listening to the broadcast. If you happen to be at work, keep doing your thing at the job. If you're off work on a Monday, congratulations. It's a rare feat. You have fun, folks. And again, you can support us also by way of Patreon. We do constantly upload things, new articles. We have audio, video, live streams we're going to be working on as well.
Jason Arday is on the Patreon. Hayden, what took place with her, is on the Patreon. And we will be having exclusive animations on the animated tier on the Patreon as well.
All right, y'all take care. We are out. Peace.
Peace.
Thought Crimes. Thought Crimes. Thought Crimes.
Because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free.
Thought Crimes. We are all the same. We are all the same.
More group
Coming through your airwaves. All right, now I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airways. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.